OnePlus 8T. This has the 120 hertz, so it is wicked smooth.
15 minutes will get you charged up for a whole day.
And this has a quad camera too. We got a 48, a 16, a 5, and a 2 megapixel.
Welcome everybody to the PMCO 2021 Spring Split North America region. We are on day number 6 and more importantly, the final day of the group stages. Brought to you by the wonderful folks over at OnePlus and the OnePlus 8T. Myself, Imperium, and the wonderful Zute are going to be bringing you all the action as we find out who's going to be the top 14 teams making it through to the finals.
Yeah, today is it. Today is the day that determines which 14 teams will move on to the finals of the PMCO. And I got to tell you, man, I'm looking at the scores right now, and it's looking a little bit shaky for Prism Esports, right? They already played yesterday, and they're sitting in the top 14 right now, but we talked about it the day before. Hey, even if you're in the top 14, there's nothing you could do about today because you got other teams playing and you got other teams trying to climb up those rankings.
Yeah, 100%. Their result is completely in the hands of how the teams that are playing today. We'll get through the finer details first, which is, of course, the point system. Let's have a look at how these teams do, of course, grab their points throughout the games. You start with 15 points for that juicy chicken dinner, 12 for second, 10 for third, whittles down. 13th to 16th is 0 points, which I think is going to be obviously a little bit more important than today. Plus that juicy 1 point per kill, which is always something to think about.
Yeah, I was looking at some of the final outcomes for some other regions, right? And the cutoff point. Some teams literally missed the make it or break it point by maybe 3 points, maybe 4 points, maybe even less. And so you mentioned 13th to 16th is 0 points. Hey, getting a 12th place game in for the teams that really need it right now, it might actually make a huge difference.
Exactly. Or maybe just that extra kill point in the game, right? That extra engagement, that confirmation on a squad. Like, there's going to be so many variables in play. There's honestly going to be so many variables. And of course, we have the schedule for today, right? The map order. We know it. We love it. I'd like to think we love it because it has a great mix of maps. You have Erangel on game number 1, moving on over to Sandhawk, then to Miramar, and then back over to Erangel. We have talked about how important Erangel is in terms of being strong on that map. If there was ever a map, if there's ever a time, should I say, to be strong on Erangel for a number of these teams, it's today.
No. Yeah, definitely today. And speaking about being strong, yesterday we saw teams finish insanely strong for all 4 games in a row. Coming into today, that's what I'm looking for, right? And I think we're going to see something similar today, Imperium. I have a feeling about it.
Do you really think we're going to have all 4 games being broken the 30-point mark on each game by the chicken dinner winner? Do you really think that's going to be the case?
You know what it is? Yesterday, I think it was that sermon you gave. Yesterday, you gave a wonderful, splendid sermon before we headed into battle. And I think that sermon kind of hit different for all the teams. And thus, we had those amazing chicken dinners in all 4 games. So why don't you hit us with that sermon once again before we head into battle today?
Okay, fair enough. Everybody close your eyes and let's just take a deep breath. And as we say a prayer to all of these wonderful teams, Our developer who art in gaming, hallowed be thy name. Thy tournament come, thy will be done. Give us this day our daily zones, and forgive us our chokes, as we forgive those who choke against us. And lead us not into bad rotations, but deliver us from hardships. Amen. Thank you.
Amen, indeed.
So now that the sermon, the prayer, the gift to all these teams has been given, let's have a look at the overall standings. Let's see where these teams currently lie. Let's have a look at what is within reason at stake in terms of chasing teams. We mentioned Prism. Yeah, they're in 12th on 87 points.
Yeah, 12th with 87, and we have Panthers. And Panthers who have not played at all, they're at 78 in 14th place. So they're probably going to pass up Prism. There's a good chance. Moving Prism down to 13th, Ogilvy down to 14th. And on the second half of the leaderboards, another team that hasn't played yet, Punjab, right? Punjab has 74 points. Only a 4-point difference from the Panthers. So Punjab is in the same exact position to do what the Panthers are about to do today. And thus Ogilvy will be bumped out of the top 14. The team we're looking at right now on the chopping block is that Prism team.
And the team that is obviously closest to getting to that mark is Warning 6. They're on 60 points. If they hit their average points per game up until this point, it will be enough to overtake Prism. Just about. But that's the thing. Are they going to be able to do it? Plus, never mind the fact that a couple of teams behind them, Null and Terror, you seen what games you had yesterday. It could be one of those as well.
Yeah. The upsets are going to happen today, but we're going to see it happen right now as we get into the first match of the day. We're going to start it with Erangel and the plane path. Oh boy, Imperium. This plane path is looking heavily skewed. It looks like it's coming in from the east side and it goes straight down south.
Oh my lord, yeah, that is going... Okay, I thought that was worse for a split second. I thought that was going from east to west, from Kameshki over to Zarki. That's how bad I thought it was, because, no, seriously, yeah, for a split second, that's how... But when it's going from, like, east down to kind of... from northeast to south, it could be worse.
Yeah, it could be worse. You mentioned a plane going from Kameshki to Zark. I don't think I've ever seen that one before. I've seen the military base ones, right? Oh boy. Yep. But speaking about this plane path, we see one team taking advantage of this, and that's Passion Fruit. Passion Fruit doing a Stalber Kameshki split. I don't think we've seen that yet in this tournament. And Passion Fruit, they're one of the teams that are interesting. They have like two sides. They play super passive, get the placements, and they sometimes also pop off. And it's such a weird, unique flip that I'm not too surprised they're also a team that has a freaking Kameshki Stalber split ready and back pocket. And we have the first circle. It's going to be a central circle favoring the northern half just a little bit. So we might get that crazy Rozak ending once again where it splits in half by the river.
We talked about it right at just before the start of the game. Yeah, Warning 6 are the team that are closest to overtaking and dropping Prism out of the top 14. But Terror right now, they are pretty nicely already inside this phase 1. They can go for that 2-2 split drop, which they're doing between Severny and the compound that's just shy north of the river. And then they can perch themselves up pretty nicely inside the center of this phase 1.
Yeah, and speaking about Warning 6, right, one of the teams we have to watch out for that might overtake and break into the top 14, they're doing a split drop, right? We see Vigilante separated from the rest of the team. I don't know how great it is doing a split drop at this point when you really need, every point possible. I'd rather see them, be a little bit closer and group up and play the macro style of lane, because that's where all the major points come in. Doing a split, the advantage with a split is you can maybe get into a scrappy fight early on and pick up a point or two, but that's only a point or two, and there's a high risk of you losing a player early on when you do a split drop. But that's neither here or there. It looks like Vigilante and Chanel are disengaging from one another, so we're not going to get any early casualties for the start of this game.
And like, to expand on what you mentioned a little bit, the difference with Warning 6's split drop compared to Passion Fruit's split drop is that Passion Fruit's split drop is in an area that is way less likely to have multiple teams, right? Yasnaya, is a drop spot, but that's nowhere near really the that kind of split drop between Kameshki and Stalbar. Whereas Warning 6, they're split dropping in an area that has way more of a risk of teams dropping around there. And maybe they've done their research to the point where they know that only God player gonna be here. But guess what? This is the final day. A good few of these teams are either 100% in the top 14 or actually 100% out of the top 14. So there's that kind of variable of, could we see teams kind of run wild, go a bit crazy, go a bit risky, and Warning 6 in theory could get caught out in that manner.
Yeah, definitely. Like, this Godplay player is actually kind of on the flank of Vigilante. We saw Vigilante shoot towards the south direction. The player we were just watching is north of Vigilante. So if Godplay was really like all out right now and just taking every fight they want, because Godplay, no offense to them, but I mean, they're sitting in 27th place at 34 points, right? If they wanted to still make it, they need to take every fight they can, and that one player we were watching might just flank Vigilante. So this game, not so much of an issue, right? Maybe these teams are just warming up a little bit first game, but coming into game 2, game 3, game 4, we're going to see, I'm predicting we're going to see the aggressiveness ramp up for a lot of these teams, even if they don't really have a chance of making it. They're just going to go all out and maybe get some highlights in.
Oh yeah, so true, so true. Like, even when we look at yesterday a little bit, like, Shine Esports, they didn't make it through, but they had that fantastic game. They had that Miramar game where they got 34 points, right? I think it was 34 points as far as I know, as far as I remember. So yeah, and they kind of ended on the high note, and even the side of Straight Out Nepal in the final game, again, they haven't made it into the top 14, but just at least kind of ending on that fashionable high to give themselves a boost, not coming into the full split, but just that little bit of boost at the end of the group stage, at the end of their PMCO run, could definitely be a factor in play for multiple teams here. Yeah, and Straight Out Nepal, this was their very first PMCO. So they came into the tournament expecting to learn, expecting to, try and get as much experience as possible. And Twinkle's obviously not very experienced with avoiding trees as he heads dead on into that one. But hey, a lot of these teams here, it is their first time. And in this lobby right now, I've seen a lot of progression, over the past few days. So I'm quite proud of all the teams I'm watching, be it if they make it or if they don't make it. What's the pressure like when you're at the stage of being in the final day and you need a hell of a day, but you also know that with that fantastic day, you can get where you need to get, you can make it to the next stage. What is that pressure like on your shoulders? I'd imagine you try not to think about it, but it must stay in the back of your head, right?
Oh yeah, the pressure is on. It doesn't so much really kick into gear when you have all 4 players alive, but I'll tell you one thing.
Okay.
When you get into an early engagement, and even if you win that engagement, right, but you lose a player, that's when you start feeling the pressure all of a sudden.
Okay.
When you're 4-man up, it's the last day, there's a bit of pressure for sure, but hey, everyone's alive. You're doing, you're doing what you usually do, your rotations, you have it all set. Everything's Gucci, right? But the second you lose a player and you're one of the teams that really need to come up big, things get a little bit dicey, and the pressure starts creeping in. And that's when sometimes, some calls might be made incorrectly. The confidence level maybe drops a little bit, or you're starting to rush things because, you're one player down and you just feel like you're pressed. But yeah, that pressure is very, very real when you lose a player early on.
Warning 6 now moving up onto M19, and if there's a team to make our mark on and to say to everybody else in the lobby, hey, we have what it takes, it would be Warning 6 taking out M19. Shots are being fired up by inactive. M19 are gonna dip out of there down on towards the fields of Yasnaya, which is just on the southern side, of course, of this phase 1. So nice, a little bit of proactivity from Warning 6 just to send M19 players back a little bit.
Yeah, I love the not to say aggression, but the attempt, right?
Yes.
They're on the very edge of the map. They know they're probably safe. They know there's probably no team behind them, and they pulled up really close to M19 in an advantageous way, keep in mind, because they have the ridges for cover to see if they could get a good lucky knock and then press in. Warning 6, sitting at 60 points. These games really do matter for them, and they're not just, playing passive. That's great to see.
Oh my god, Punjab United and the Terror. Of course, Punjab United in a much better place than the Terror, but at the end of the day, if the Terror can take out Punjab United, it would be a much bigger sign, a much bigger prospect for their run, as the shots are being fired up and the Terror are going to come out on top. The Terror have been here for quite a while. Punjab encroached on their space, and you know what? The Terror will win it out, and they'll win it out as a 4-man team.
I have a really good feeling about today, Imperium. We just witnessed the Terror, one of the teams that we were talking about that has a chance to make it in, and we also witnessed Warning 6. Both teams early on looking to pick up points and engagements. So I think we're in for a treat today. And speaking about treat, 3Z pulling up on the Terror. The Terror, this is another chance for them to get 4 points if they play this defense correctly here.
I like the fact that Warning 6 has Gil out of the compound, right? There's a risk he can get knocked down, but he is being that person in the front line, putting a bit of suppression onto the players of 3Z while the rest of the players were healing up and getting ready to get into their next fight. The Terror, they know that their area, whether it's phase 1 or now phase 2, was so good, but you call it the double knock, flies on through, Clicks is going to be put down to all of about 2 health, and now he's going to get knocked down to the ground, and that leaves 3Z with just 1 player left standing. That's going to be a confirmed kill. The Terror are on a tear right now. They're going to clean up 3Z, and they have 8 kills in the first 11 minutes of this game.
First 11 minutes of the game, 8 points in the bag already. They're taking that to the bank. One player did get knocked by a Passion Fruit member, though. Passion Fruit, they're just off to the side. They were actually sitting here previously before that engagement broke out. Passion Fruit, though, only a 2-man team. They have a 2-2 split going on. Terror with a great reset. And I think, Passion Fruit, they probably kind of smell the Terror from that distance. And they're going to back off the Terror. God. 8 kills, 46 alive, 8 players dead so far, all on the side of the Terror.
Oh my lord, the Terror. You know what? That automatically puts them on 63 points. And as retrospective, Punjab, who went out, are on 74. So never mind the placement points they might get. Never mind the extra kills. The Terror are setting themselves up to not only overtake Warning 6, but to get in the firing line of Punjab.
Yeah, the Terror already overtook Warning 6 here, and we see Passion Fruit playing very aggressive off that knock. Here's that aggression we were talking about. Passion Fruit, one of the teams really comfortable. They could afford to do this. They could afford to go for some wild pushes, and they're doing it to M19, which is also a team that is safe in terms of rankings.
Is this the kind of mental game? In somewhat, is this kind of Passion Fruit trying to send a message to M19 before the finals? You know, I know they might not know it's M19, but if they do, if they have any idea, I'd like to think that the Passion Fruit would be a little bit more encouraged to take this team out.
Yeah. I don't know if they do know. Maybe they researched. They have a feeling it's M19 playing in this position. But M19's scrambling right now. They're only a two-man team. We saw Batman take a wide rotation around, trying to be proactive, trying to get a flank. But that does lead Zorf by his lonesome, and he will go down to that grenade. Beautiful bounce right there. Absolutely beautiful bounce.
Right? That was perfectly bounced. So well played. And yeah, you called it. Batman is now on his own. At least he's in the direction of towards the center of the circle. He's already in the circle, so it's not too bad. But we did see phase 3 shifting up, and it's gone heavily up north now. It doesn't take away a tip of the south. It doesn't take away fully the south side of the circle, but it does, of course, give a way bigger indication to the remaining teams that it is going to be a north of the circle finish.
Yeah, and now this circle shift is kind of a hard shift to the north, but I'm going to say it doesn't even matter that much because look at how many players are left alive already. There's only 43 players left in this lobby. Usually hard shifts are extremely difficult when you have a full lobby going into the game, right? Because you got to avoid so many teams, but we're down to 43 already. There's so much more space, so to say, left on the map because there's so many less players. And we see these rotations coming out, and there's just so much open ground that it almost doesn't matter with that circle shift. Everybody's going to be able to find something to play here.
And I did notice Warning 6 got engaged upon by Meeseeks a little bit. One of their players knocked down, and Null got a knockdown onto, I think, one of the other teams as well. But just to, the Executioners, that's going to be Jip for Null pushing on forward to try and confirm that kill onto Alexander, going to be inside that sniper tower. It's outside the circle, but it's a good spot for Null where they were already holed into, and of course, grabbing a couple of kills on the outside of the circle leaves just Freeze and Nadis left standing for Executioners.
Yeah, Null needs to pull a Terror, like right now. Null with 51 points coming into this one. The Terror was only 4 points above them, right? So if the Terror has a chance, Null has a chance too, but Null needs to pick up 7 kills right now to just set on pacing with the Terror. And they did start off with 1. They might pick up the second one. AK Iron Sight from way down range. I don't think Twinkles is going to hit that one. And we're going to go into the next circle shift. And it's another hard shift towards the east side. I'm looking at the Terror right now, right? They have a very close circle shift, but they're kind of caught with another team also looking to take advantage of that close circle shift. I believe that's Digital Razor X. Digital Razor X, it is 28th place team. This might work out for the Terror in the sense that maybe it's a more inexperienced team, and the Terror could maybe pick up another 4 kill points fighting into this next one very easily.
Well, the way the Terror have been playing, I have no doubt if they smell blood, they're going to go for it. But credit to Digital Razor X. That's a fantastic rotation from their side, pushing in on the eastern edge of the circle, a little bit more elongated as the Panthers going to come on in. They're going to be engaging upon Meeseeks inside the shooting range. Chayua is able to get a knockdown while Savage was knocked down, and Versa is going to be coming in, passion through, take out another side. That is going to be M19 wiped off the board just like that. It was the final player, and Passion Fruit found him.
Yeah, I don't know how they found him. This is literally the opposite side of the map where the last engagement took place. Maybe they saw his car and followed him all the way through, but one of the Warning 6 players getting run over in the kill feed. Warning 6, they have been kind of quiet. They need to be loud, but it looks like they're going to be even more quiet as Segment X is finishing them off one by one. And yeah, there goes Warning 6. I think they have 1 player left alive, but Segment X picking up those 2 kills nice and easy.
Also, the Panthers have been able to pick up a couple of kills, so when we kind of have a little bit of a look at the leaderboard, they're already ahead of the side of Ogilvy, so that's pretty good for them. And of course, we already knew they were in the top 14, but just for that extra little bit of security. And it's Warning 6, they're down to 2 players, but the way Segment X can play, they won't be afraid to engage upon them if they get that first knock.
Yeah, even if they don't get a knock, Segment X might just elect to push the compound right now. They should have a good idea that the last 2 players of Warning 6 are down there. The only thing kind of stopping them is actually the Terror out in the distance. We see King A here with the M24. You might just want to get, some sniper clips in rather than pushing straight in. And another player of Execute. They're down to just a solo. Execute really struggling here. And King A with the M24, is he going to hit the clip? Does not hit it, the shots, though.
And we saw the Terror grab another kill. That's kill number 9 for them. They're nearly at double digits, and we're only on phase 4. Of course, we're looking over at King A. He isn't afraid to go for those juicy sniper shots. They have a core position on the high ground of this phase 4. The blue zone's closing in. In my eyes, King A's having a little bit of fun, and that's good. That's good to see.
Yeah, definitely having a little bit of fun. King A maybe just freshening up his sniping skills to go into the finals, but you know what doesn't need freshening up? Gil with the DP. Sitting at 4 kills, almost takes down Lolo, gets King A to have HP with just a few bullet bursts right there. The Terror absolutely playing on point right now when it matters the most.
Oh man, this circle shift up the northwest. It's outside the shooting range, but it's a pretty big hill. It's long hill, but it is pretty big that these teams can kind of play around. So it could also favor the side of Terror because they'll be more in that kind of low ground area. They might struggle to get a little bit of information over the tip, but in my opinion, the way they've been playing, it will allow them to control that lower side really nicely on the southern tip of this phase 5.
Yeah, the Terror with this circle shift, I would say it's actually probably one of the more difficult circle shifts for them to navigate.
Okay.
You highlighted a really good point. But speaking of which, they're just going all in. I don't think they realized Warning 6 was down here. They probably saw Segment X at the top and just assumed that this was clear.
Yes.
That was a really bad assumption right there, and the Terror just the reign of Terror just instantly put down by the side of Warning 6. And this is good for Warning 6. They needed some kill points since they're down to just a solo now. And Active, you need to finish that thirst. Get another kill point in. Put at least 3 points into the bank for your team. Because you're all that's left right now for this game.
Oh, Chanel of Godplay tries to go in on the score wipe onto Digital Razor X, and it doesn't work out. He gets taken out. Digital Razor X will stay on the outside of the circle as a full team. But yeah, just to touch upon the Terror, let's be fair. They don't have to go aggressive now. The final player, although his butt is going to be clenching quite heavily, can play for the top 5, top 4 placement because they've already got 9 kills.
Yeah, they do have 9 kills. I don't know if that... Okay, for their first game, this definitely sets the pacing for them to...
It does.
Bring it out over the top and qualify in once we, hit the last game. But honestly, the Terror's performance just now, as impressive as it is, points-wise, I think they got like 10, 11, 12 points or so. They need the same amount of points for the next 3 games, I think.
For sure.
Yeah. So... it's not a pop-off game for them in the sense of, hey, this is the big one, and now we can take it chill and cruise control. They still need the same amount of energy for the next 3, and I don't know if that's going to be doable for them.
That is very true, but Gil finds a knockdown onto one of the Digital Razor X players. It's not a kill, but it is still a knockdown. Null, who are on 1 kill, who are in the top 7, they have a position on the northwestern edge of the circle. We've mentioned the Terror. We definitely should deserve to somewhat mention the Null. Yeah, they haven't had an aggressive pop-off game, but if they get first with 4 to 5 to 6 kills, it's kind of the same thing as the Terror.
Yeah, and my mistake, Gil is actually still alive from the Terror. I saw another one of their players go down in the kill feed, and I thought that was it for them. But with Gil's positioning at the high ground, at the very top, this hillside is just massive expanse of openness and trees. So Gil has his work cut out for him to try and snake it in. No, still a 4-man team. They got Passion Fruit to the east of them. And one of the Null players actually gets knocked by DRX. This is going to slow them down, and they still have to fight into the next circle, be it on the Passion Fruit side or DRX's side. So Null's looking in a very tricky spot right now. I don't know if they can make it out of this one, keeping 4 players up. And I spoke too soon. One of the players already gets thirsted. Null's now down to a 3-man.
What Gil obviously might not know is that DRX did give him a little bit of space by taking out the final player of Execution Esports. So even though he's not in the circle, it makes it a tiny bit easier to move on in. Although, just as I say that, Pew, I caster curse you, Gil. I apologize. However, it's still a 6th place finish with 9 kills, while Chip finds Sleepless of Passion Fruit. Maybe you were caught sleeping. Either way, it's a good start by Null to try and get a little bit of a space, but just out in the open, Pew pushes forward and is going to get the high ground advantage and secures a knockdown onto Chip.
Yeah, that earlier knock and thirst by DRX onto Null literally just slows them down just enough for DRX to be the first team up the hillside. And now you see they're taking advantage of their positioning. Jip already down. Pew throwing a grenade towards the other 2. And yeah, it's looking... I think this is it for Null. Unless if they somehow manage to, I don't know, just put on an invisibility cloak, I don't think they're going to be able to snake it into this next circle.
Passion Fruit looking to chase that #1 spot. Let's be fair, for pride, for glory, to end the group stage at the top of the standings will be pretty juicy coming into the finals, as Chungin is doing a great job to keep the pressure onto Null. Another knockdown being fired on forward, and is that going to be a Kobe? Yes, it is. Down goes Null in 5th. It's good, but I don't think it's going to be good enough, as we're left with 4 teams, 14 players.
Yeah, if Null pulled the same amount of kills as a Terror and went out on 5th, that would obviously be much better, but that's neither here or there. It's over for Null for this game 1, and we do have Passion Fruit still up with 4 players. One of them gets knocked, but they get a really good circle shift favoring them, and I do believe they're the only 4-man team alive right now. No, the Panthers, also a 4-man team. They should look to strike off that knock. They need to go towards Passion Fruit's side, and they hit their knock opening, and we see them mobilizing right now, using the vehicles and going for that push.
Oh man, but Wonder Place is going to get knocked down, followed by a second. It's just not the right protocol. I saw where you were going from, but I think they needed 2 knockdowns, unfortunately, as that's going to be a push on through. Passion Fruit are doing a great job of taking advantage of the Panthers right now. Smoke being thrown out by Savage, while Fox is close by, maybe going to be able to pull off that res. Level X as a 3-person team, going to be playing down on that rotation to the southern tip of this phase 7. What's important is that the top 3 teams, none of them are inside the circle as far as I know.
Yeah, Passion Fruit is definitely very close, and they have a commanding position with that bunker top, right? They're going to get to take their pick. The Panthers, they're nowhere close. Level X, I think, has slowly sneaked their way in, but all eyes on Panthers right now because they're the only team that's going to have to try and make a run in or a drive in at this point.
Lovely smoke thrown out by Ultra, and so it allowed him to move that vehicle forward closer without it getting sprayed up. Plus, with the gunshots and the distraction by Passion Fruit onto the side of the Panthers, that automatically gave Level X a little bit more freedom to move around on that rotation without getting caught out. By no means is it out for Level X. Level X currently 25th with 41 points. I'm not putting them into the mix right now. I'm sorry, guys. Maybe if you get a second pop-off game, it will still be a pretty damn good start in their final day.
Yeah, I think if they get this chicken dinner, it's going to be the cataclysm for them to start thinking, hey, we can't give up. We just got a chicken dinner. We can't, just call it quits now. And the Panthers trying to sneak their way in, but Sleepless with that M24 rattling off those shots. And this last player from the Panthers, he's about to meet the same fate. And, Sleepless actually almost goes down.
Oh baby, that was close but no cigar, my friend. There's no mercy is also going to get knocked out at the hands of Level X. So yes, the Panthers have been eliminated in third. We're down to our final two teams. Level X can capitalize off the back of the knock, but what they might not realize is that Sleepless is on the higher elevated position by that juicy drop, and that could give the advantage over to Passion Fruit and let them take down the players of Level X.
Yeah, so Level X, they're just snaking their way in. They got another knock, but I don't think they have any nades left. They might have thrown all of them. No, they have some more nades left. Sleepless is going to try and mow the grass here with that M249 and maybe get a lucky hit on a Level X player.
Ooh. Man, lovely shots from that Level X player to nearly take down Sleepless. It's going to once again create a little bit more space, but Versa is going to find the rotation, find the shots, and get the knockdown onto Shonu. Confirm that kill. Level X down to just 2 players. A grenade gets fired at Ultron and Beast. Sleepless is going to go down. That's 1, but it's going to get traded up instantly. So now it's Ultron left on his own. Versa's going to stand up, prone back down. Ultron finds it. That is it, but now he has to reposition. He's going to get the second one. It is a 1v1 between Ultron and Jay. Jay was knocked down earlier. He got revived up. A grenade gets chucked out. That's the Kobe. That's the chicken dinner. And that is Passion Fruit winning in a wrangle.
And Passion Fruit never disappoints. They even got 3 players knocked right there. And I was starting to hold my breath. Ultron looked like he was about to go on a tear with those back-to-back knocks. But yeah, that Kobe just... boom. And that was it. That was it. And Passion Fruit secure that chicken dinner, even though by no means that they needed it.
And Ultra knew that, to be fair. I guarantee you he heard that grenade because he actually got up and started running, but it was possibly just a second too late to the point where the shrapnel damage and the grenade hit at the right time and took him out. So great effort from the side of Level X. 5 kills with 12 placement points. It is still 22 points. Now, all I'm saying is that it kind of doesn't take them out of the running. That's all I'm saying. It kind of doesn't take them out of the running.
Yeah. With yesterday, we saw teams, just really pull it out. So Level X, I'd like this performance, sure, it was great, but they need a 30-point chicken dinner to really shoot them up the leaderboards. I'm on the same boat as you, Imperium. I don't want to count any of these teams out, especially when they have a good game 1, because having a good game 1 changes the mood and the pacing for the rest of the game, right? Just like with the Terror. I think the mistake they made is just a small oversight. Sure, it really hurt them, but they realized, man, that was a small mistake, and we basically kind of threw our momentum. But it's a small mistake. It probably won't happen again. What they were doing right, though, however, was picking up 8 kills in the first 11 minutes of the game. So I think they're good. I think they're on a good pacing. I don't think that, flop towards the end is going to slow them down any whatsoever.
I'll tell you what team is under the most pressure, and I would even say more pressure than Prism at this stage right now, is Punjab United. They went out with 0 kills, with 0 points. It was a wasted game, and yeah, you can turn around and you can say that they were only 4 points behind Ogilvy. They're only 4 points away from moving into 14th. When we talk about the kind of steamroll, the momentum, it can go the opposite way, right, Sute? It can be that where you start off on a bad game and it gets worse and worse and worse.
Yeah, and I think you really need to focus on the fashion that these teams go out in, right? I was talking about the Terror. The fashion they kind of, messed up and made a huge flop. That was a small mistake, a small oversight. But Punjab, they took a straight-on engagement with the Terror. They were feeling confident in that push. They were thinking, we got this. We only need 4 points. Let's just fight a little bit early on and just secure those 4 kill points, and we're sitting pretty. But they got demolished by the Terror. So to go out in the fashion that Punjab did, it might shake their confidence a little bit, and it might shake their mental. I still believe in them though. They got 3 more games, right?
True.
They only need a few more points, but that hit, it's stinging them. It's stinging them just a little bit at the very least.
It is. So on that note, we're gonna go for a break. There's 3 more games to go, and I was not expecting we would kind of be including the teams that we've seen pull out solid performances in game 1. But with 3 more games to go, there's so much more in the palm of our hands. So don't go away. We'll see you back for game number 2 in Sandhawk.
OnePlus 8T. This has the 120 hertz, so it is wicked smooth.
15 minutes will get you charged up for a whole day.
And this has a quad camera too. We got a 48, a 16, a 5, and a 2 megapixel. OnePlus 8T. This has the 120 hertz, so it is wicked smooth.
15 minutes will get you charged up for a whole day.
And this has a quad camera too. We got a 48, a 16, a 5, and a 2 megapixel.
We are back, day 6 of the PMCO North America 2021 Spring Split. Man, I kind of don't know what to say in some way, shape, or form. I'm Imperium with Tute, and game 1, it kind of threw everything out, for a loop, right? I wouldn't say we discounted a couple of teams, but teams we, maybe didn't think of so much have suddenly kind of gone, hey, we're here, guys. We're here. Don't forget us. And it's crazy. Absolutely crazy.
That's what the final day does to you. That is absolutely just what the final day does. And we're looking at the leaderboards right now. Ogilvy still sitting at 14th place. We were predicting Ogilvy would be overtaken by Punjab, right? They were only 4 points away. And Punjab looking like a strong team. We were thinking they could get at least 4 points, but Ogilvy, sitting pretty for now, but it's not going to keep up. Not with the terror encroaching up. And also Punjab is still, set in a good spot to break into the top 14.
Yeah, and let's kind of switch over to the second half of the standings, because not only, to be fair, was it a little bit oof for Prism based on the terror, or Punjab, should I say, but even Morning 6, right? They only got 4 points that game, and we talk about their average of needing 7.5 points per game. They didn't hit that average in game 1.
Yeah, you're right. Warning 6, we were saying, was, if they could just hit their average, they'll make it into the top 14. But, the pressure is on. It's the last day, and sometimes, depending on the team, it either really gets them going, gets them fired up, makes them play more confident and with more, determination, or on the opposite end, it's going to make them choke a little bit. It's going to make them play a bit more passive, a bit more scared, and things might just start falling apart. So Warning 6, at least they picked up some points, unlike Punjab, but it is not the point average they were looking for. So that just makes it even more tough on them for the next 3 games.
And Level X had a really solid result in that first game, right? They got a total of 17 points. It puts them on equal points and technically ahead of Null. Now, Null by all means weren't looking amazing, but when you're talking about kind of step by step, placement by placement, decide on Level X, they will be pretty happy with how that game went.
Yeah, Level X just essentially pulled a shine, right? They put themselves there. Now they have to keep it going and close it out.
Oh, yes, they will do indeed. And the map they're going to have to, once again, do it on. It is going to be Sanhok, the Jungle Mountain, the crazy, the unpredictable, the snake-alicious map that is Sanhok. And even though we don't really worry too much about playing paths in Sanhok, that's definitely one of the harsher ones we've seen.
Yeah, that is... What a playing path. I guess that's another, aspect of the caster's curse. We always talk about playing path, don't care about it on Sanhok. This one, though, not only is a playing path bad, but look at where the teams are deciding to drop. Oh, we have a way western playing path. Only one team is dropping on the western island. That means so many teams are stretching to the east. That's really far away, the playing path, and they might just run into each other, scrap looting right out the beginning of the game.
And that kind of makes me wonder why Null are taking the risk to once again split drop. Never mind the fact that it's Sanhok, but with the plane path, being so kind of northwest that they have opted to go for that. I'm not saying it's not going to work out. I just feel like the risk is there. While Warning 6, what the hell is Rota's doing there? I wouldn't say on his own because one of their players got taken out, but again, a little bit like, no, why go for the split drop? Oh no, the Rota's gonna come in, gets one, doesn't quite get the second, unfortunately. Is it gonna be traded back? No, not quite. Either way, it's gonna be Warning 6 down to 2 players.
Yeah, Warning 6 was going for a drop around boot camp, but I think what they didn't calculate is that a lot of these teams, it's their last day and they're out of the running. So they're just, heck it, we're just going to go boot camp ourselves. And they got caught in a split between 2 teams dropping in boot camp and then 2 teams dropping out here. M19, luckily for them, they do pick up a kill, but they're down to 2 players already. And we were just talking about Warning 6 coming into here. The pressure's on for them for these next 3 games. And they lost not 1, but 2 players at the start of the game. So they are definitely feeling it right now. It's not looking too good for them. They do have a straight line shot down the center of the circle, right? They can maybe make that rotation. But it's Sandhawk. I doubt they have the bravery right now to just go all out for it and just try and rotate down central. Who knows, man? It is not looking good for them. I am getting tense for them just watching them play. The mistakes that are happening right now, it is not looking good whatsoever.
They do need 11 points in this game to get back on track with the average points per game required. Now, they've got 1 point. Like you pointed out, as a 2-man team, it's going to be made so much harder to get those other 10 points. And, again, like from a player's perspective, when you have that bad game 1, and you go into second game and you have that bad start, it must start feel like everything is slipping away. Not just the game, but kind of, without sounding too dramatic, your whole life. It must be so hard to kind of control and shake off.
Yeah, definitely. And the plane path, I think, had a factor into this, right? They were stretching towards the east, and as they're jumping out of the plane path, they probably see so many players all around them. It kind of might have maybe threw them for a loop. They were just like, why is there so many teams flying in the air next to us? And they had that small sense of panic, and then their team really split up way too much. But it's not going to stop Warning 6 from getting some knocks and maybe trying to secure some kill points. Unfortunately for them, Passion Fruit hears the shots and they're on the flank. So Warning 6 now caught in a sandwich between 2 different teams. And Vigilante goes down and his teammates got across in the open, but Passion Fruit might see this and he might just take him down. Peralta taking some shots. He's going to try and go for that revive. It's risky.
Oh my lord. Oh my sweet Mary mother. Oh, Peralta, you took a massive risk. I wouldn't say it's working out, but you are surviving for now. I appreciate the risk of going for that revive, but yeah, 3Z are definitely not looking good themselves because they're pinched not only between Passion Fruit and M19, but also that last player of Warning 6. That might give Vigilante that chance to get the revive. Sorry, Peralta to get that revive onto Vigilante. I think has come on through. But now, instead of it being 3Z, who have been eliminated, it's Warning 6 who are in between M19 and Passion Fruit. And if there's 2 teams you don't want to be pinched in between, it's kind of those 2 teams.
Oh, yeah. And that sandwich, it was a gigantic sandwich. There's more than 1 layer. But now it's about to condense down to the last layer with Warning 6 being in the middle of that sandwich. Once again, Passion Fruit with the nades gets the opening, and it's just all down to Peralta. I don't even think Warning 6 managed to secure another kill point. This might come through for them. No, they only got 1 kill point. 1 point.
Yeah.
Imperium.
Yeah.
1 point. And they went out in 13th place. 13th place is 0 placement points.
Hello, darkness, my old friend, is all I can kind of think of for Warning 6 right now. I feel bad for them. I do. I genuinely feel bad because, you know, they were the closest team that I looked at in terms of taking over Prism's spot, right? That were, you know, looking pretty solid coming into this. A few shaky results, but they had performed, all things considered, not too bad. And now in the first 2 games today, they've had early finishes, they've had shaky mistakes, and they've paid the price across the board. And man, I don't know if they're going to be able to bounce back in the final 2 games. We'll have to wait and see, as Segment X have themselves on top of a pretty solid hill. Not too spread out, nicely positioned.
Yeah, not too spread out because they are a little bit more on the edge side, right? So they just want to central up just slightly. So when they make that rotation, everybody can push in together. But no, you know, a little bit in the way. It depends on the circle shift, but Segment X should know there's a team down there. We've seen them play this position before on top of the mountain. And just like before, there was a team right at the bottom of the hill at the compounds. Segment X, also very experienced team. I don't think we've ever seen Segment X really get caught off guard with any engagements. They haven't really run into a team unprepared for a fight. So not too worried about them. Plus, I mean, hey, they've already punched their ticket. So they're just, you know, pitching a tent up there, maybe telling some stories. You know what I love to hear? I would love to hear some of the comms. If we could hear the end game comms, and I would love to see the difference between a team that has punched their ticket and then the team that's really needing the points, right? The comms are going to be night and day.
But to be fair, you've played with a couple of the players of Segment X. So what do you think would be their comms in this kind of situation? What do you think, you know, King A would be saying, for example?
Oh, dude, I bet you King A is probably like dropping a rap right now. I don't know about the rest of the players. Maybe they have a player on the team that does a little beatboxing. I could totally see them chilling on the hill, vibing right now. King A spitting some rhymes, spitting some bars, and they're just having a grand old time, right? Like they not only punched a ticket, they kind of proved themselves as like, hey, we are a top dog team, and we're heading into the finals confident. And not even the finals. I believe they probably have their eyes set on PMPL. So they're just absolutely chilling right now. And I was wrong. They're actually dead in the center of the circle. And with the next shift, it goes a little bit over to the right. We see this ending all the time, right? With Corey right in the middle. We don't know if it's going to shift north or south, but that shift is going to be a huge difference in terms of what kind of engagements these teams will be taking and what kind of rotations they should be looking to make.
And I very, very, very rarely mention this in Sanhok because of how small the map is, and we tend to have extremely like rare, super harsh playing paths. But the Terror, the one team who is down on the southeast side of this phase 2 with a northwest playing path, that is a beautiful way for them to set themselves up for a strong finish in Sanhok. I'm not saying they're going to, but when you're talking about, you know, avoiding the cluster, avoiding the congestion, they have done it.
Yeah, they definitely have done it. And judging from their position and where everyone else is, any shift to the east is going to be really good for them. Whether it be a northeastern shift or a southeastern shift, they're going to have an easy path line up. The only thing I'm worried about, though, if it shifts to the west side, because if it does shift to the west side, one of their path lines is this hilltop that Segment X is on. And we see the Terror actually in the far distance. They're taking this hill path, but they might be able to sandwich Punjab. Is that? Oh, that actually is Punjab. One of the other teams we really need to look out for. And they might get into another engagement into game number 2. They might get taken out by the Terror again here.
Oh my lord, I'm salivating at the thought of it. You have the Terror, you have Punjab United, you even have Segment X and the Null in a little bit further of a distance. We saw Punjab looking towards Segment X, but now they're going to have to turn their attentions onto the Terror. Here is the thing though, let's be fair. They'll have no real idea that is each other, right? Especially Punjab onto the Terror because of that playing path, right? Compared to the Circle. At the end of the day, both teams aren't going to really care. Punjab, the only thing they're caring about is surviving in this game, and the Terror, the only thing they're thinking about is how many more kills can we get in this second game compared to the first game.
Yeah, those nades were beautiful too. It completely pushed everybody out of Punjab downside, and that is not good. The Terror, they're on a tear right now, and if you give them one knock, I bet you they're gonna want to go for more. And Terror, they have the positioning uphill. Smokes are coming out. One thing with smokes, though, it's a signal to the enemy team that we're scared. We're trying to go in defense mode, and that gives Gil a clean idea to come right out over the top. Oh, this is not good. Gil does not go down either. This is not looking good. Not looking good.
I was thinking, Gil, don't overextend on your own. Don't overextend on your own. You do want to get information, but you don't want to get caught out. But he is instantly kind of joined up by Brar and Jimmy, so that's allowing them to, you know, maybe push in a little bit more. Gil is pushing back a bit. They have the kind of top of the rock. Lovely nade being thrown up. Oscar is going to return fire. That revive has been pulled off onto Sugar Daddy. So all things considered, this engagement is slowing down a bit. And I think that's where the Terror realize phase 3 pops up. Yeah, okay, they definitely don't want to forget about Punjab, but they do need to think about, hey, we're kind of towards the center of the circle. We don't want to get tunnel visioned.
Yeah, I think the Terror should actually stay on top of that hill. The only other place they have is more central, but it locks them in, right? If they go downhill now at this point on the next shift, if they have to make a huge rotation, they're not in the best spot for it. Okay. I will say though, they can try and go down into the quarry and navigate the low ground dips of the quarry. That's a hit or miss sometimes, though, because if a team hears you or sees you and they start focusing you, you're stuck down there. If a team is busy fighting other teams on the top, they could sneak around, but it looks like Terror, they're going to opt for that hilltop. They're looking strong up there, and they're feeling comfortable, and I don't blame them for it. That's a good spot, nonetheless.
Oh, man. On a side note, I do want to give a shout out quickly to the Panthers, because in that game 1, they may not have finished first. Oh, Savage finds a Shamster, but they did push themselves ahead of a Scrim Farm. So absolutely, positively, undisputingly securing their position in the top 14. So fair play to them. It takes the pressure off on these remaining 3 games. Once again, though, Punjab continue to get pressured by the Terror.
Oh, the Terror's actually going to go for the push. They're completely going to disregard the rotation. They're completely going to disregard their positioning, and they just want to get the kill points. And it's not just the kill points, Imperium. If they wipe out this team, that southwestern block is cleared up for them. So it's not just them going aggressive, it's them being proactive and clearing out one of their sides. I don't know if they realize this is what they're essentially doing, but I love this push out of them. They just have to execute it correctly now.
Nice grenade being thrown up by Nimbo to try and reposition the players from the Terror. A knockdown did get put onto Savage, so that instantly shuts down their ability to heavily push. And Punjab United, they're not afraid to fire back extremely well. Molotov and utility being used on phase 3. Even if one of these teams survive and wins it out, it is going to kind of take away some of that utility available in the late game, should they need it, which they most likely will.
Yeah, the only thing that I think the Terror kindly messed up a little bit on is that they sent all 4 players just to have one player on the high ground in the back to provide info, to be that flex position, and to have the long range support. That is crucial. So I think they were going for a Hail Mary all in, but they're slowing down a little bit, and we're going to go into the next shift, and we're going to see if this pays off for them or not. Because if this next shift goes far away, that's not good. Yeah.
What do you make of Oscar's reposition? He's kind of gone by the bridge down onto the underground coastal area. He's going for a wide wraparound. I know that phase 4 shifted highly up the northeast, but I want, what do you think of that?
Yeah, Oscar, I think he realized all 4 players went down from the Terror. And because all 4 players went down, they can't spot Oscar doing that wide flank all the way around.
Yep.
Now the Terror's caught in a tricky position, but it's not just the Terror. Punjab, another team that also needs the points, they're also caught on the Terror now. And this is going to be one of those mutual destruction type things. I want to see them commit more so to the fight than trying to leave and make that rotation.
Plus, because both these teams are now pretty far away from this phase 4, they have 10 seconds. That blue zone damage is going to be much harder to deal with. I'm not saying they're low on meds, but they have kind of knocked each other down bit by bit. That's a third party, though, by the Panthers on the Sugar Daddy. And because Sugar Daddy has been knocked down already by the side of the Terror, they must have recognized in that kill feed that is the same player being knocked down. So they are going to look to push in on that. And that's going to be the side of Punjab United down to 3. Oscar's further back. So realistically, Punjab only have 2 players inside that compound.
Yeah, so now it's a decision on the Terror. Do they use that opportunity to disengage and make that rotation, or try and finish off the fight? I think they're going for the disengage, but the Panther, one of the teams that can do whatever they want right now.
Yes.
And they're just raining hellfire on the Terror and Punjab. And both these teams not getting the better end of the engagement whatsoever.
Man, Oscar is just being up, down, left, and right. He's gone all over the place because he was down by the coastline of the bridge. Now he's back up the hill. He got a second knockdown onto the players of the Panther. That is very good for Punjab United. They're on 1 kill. I note they are on 1 kill. That automatically puts them ahead of Ogilvy and in to 14th spot. Let's be fair. So not saying that the pressure is completely off, but that little bit of information, maybe that little bit of awareness, as they've now got 2 kills, might just help them breathe a tiny bit more.
Oh yeah, it's not just the fact that they got 2 kills either. Game number 1, they had 0 points. They finished the game with 0 points. So just to have the idea of, okay, we can still get points each game. We already secured 2, right? That must be making them feel better. But one thing that they're not feeling good about is this circle shift, and it's about to shift again. There's no way that they make it. They should just look to try and heal. And that's segment X taken out by the side of Digital Razor X.
Yeah, also because the Nimbu from Punjab United got a couple of cheeky shots onto King A. That meant that he couldn't heal off in time, and that is the end of segment X. So that leaves a tiny bit of space, tiny little bit more space for Punjab United to try to push in on the edge of phase 5. Level X across by the quarry line. That's going to be null. They're on 0 kills, but they still have a full squad.
Yeah, Level X, it looks like they're fighting their way in. A Molly knock onto the side of God play, and that push is going through. One of Level X goes down to the Terror. Terror Brar down in the quarry, trying to use that pathing that I was talking about earlier. He's already caught in the blue, though. I don't know if he could outrun the blue at this point. The water down there slows you down. It might be shallow water, but it still is deep enough to get your movement speed a little bit too slow to outrun the blue zone.
Oh, nearly knocked down Twinkles, but that's going to be Jip following suit. Great teamwork by the side of Null, but Briar comes in to get a double knockdown, although the play zone ends up taking him out. So that's going to be the end of Terror in 9th place. 8 teams left, 20 players. Just like that, half of the lobby wiped out of the board, and we are left with just 20 players. And no, they're most likely going to be the next ones to go down unless they can transfer all their heals off while Pew Pew of Digital Razor X fires on in. They're on 10 kills in this game. Digital Razor X, 10
kills, but I don't think they're going to get the chicken dinner. Look at the hard shift. The shifts have been pushing the northeastern side so many times in a row that the Passion Fruit, the only team that's been kind of chilling their way down, sure, they have 6 kills, but look at how empty it is over here. Everybody is dead. Everybody is dead. We have 8 players left alive.
Level X are in the top 3 once again. I don't know how many kills they have, but they are in the top 3. That is automatically 10 points. And yeah, Punjab United got a couple of kills. They may have gotten a placement point or two. That's the end of the last player, Digital Razor X. But that automatically gives Level X 12 points. That puts them on 70. That's going to put them closer to Prism, closer to Punjab United. They are looking to climb their way into the top 14, but in the mountain ahead of them, the Passion Fruit side, it's going to be the battle 2.0 between Passion Fruit and Level X.
Yeah, and the battle 2.0 is starting once again in the favor of Passion Fruit, making it down to a 4v2, and Passion Fruit's got the spread. They have a really good idea of where Level X is trying to sneak in on, and look at this, low ground to high ground, covered by Passion Fruit. Level X not looking like they can make their way out of this one.
Yeah, and the next circle does shift in the favor of Passion Fruit to the point where they have the edge of the circle. So the two remaining players of Level X, Beast and Venom, have to go downhill, crawl their way in. Grenades being cooked up by Sleepless. That might be a connection. That might be a Kobe. Nearly goes on through. A nice counter by Beast, but that's just going to alert the players of Passion Fruit to their direction. That's going to be a knockdown off the back of a Thompson by Sleepless. Nicely done. That leaves Venom on his own. He was able to heal up, but he's out in the grass. He's snaking on through. That is going to be it. And that is going to be Passion Fruit claiming their back-to-back chicken dinner in Sanhok.
Back-to-back chicken dinner. Just like yesterday, we saw EFC pull off the back-to-back chicken dinner. Passion Fruit taking suit now. And I think that actually pushes them up into first place overall. Just like that.
They were already first place overall, believe it or not.
Oh, they were?
Yeah.
Oh, after the last game, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, Passion Fruit. Okay, Passion Fruit. I mean, I love this team. I love them. And they're just constantly pumping out action, constantly surprising us. But speaking about surprise, Level X, right? Another great finish by them. Another massive amount, not massive, but massive enough to put them in the contention. And all of a sudden, I think we're looking at 3 teams now, right? Punjab, Level X, and the Terror. 2 games in, and now we have 3 teams that are looking like they're fighting for that to get into the top 14.
It's so good. The Terror, yeah, let's be fair, they kind of made a couple of mistakes in that game, right? Not leaving it too late, but taking too long to really engage onto Punjab, not having that player on the high ground off the back of the knock, and sending the final 3 players in. But when it's all said and done, they still scored 9 points in that game. It was 1 kill and 8 placement points because of so many other teams dropping down. And that last player did exactly what you said, Zute. You said to play down those quarry low ground dips, and he did it, and he got his team 8 placement points for it.
Yeah, and the disengagement though, like I wanted to backtrack to where they went wrong, right?
Yeah.
If they kept one player on the high ground towards the back, they would have an option to also disengage when they saw it was taking too long, because that one player in the back can cover them from leaving. He could give them information on how to path, but as soon as all 4 players are stuck down there, the first player to disengage and try and run up the hill, he's going to get shot at. No one's ready to cover him. So that one decision-making mistake really cost the Terror there. And I think, I want to say their mental should be a little bit shook by that, but as bad as it was, you're right. They picked up 9 points. So they still had a decent game. They managed to salvage it towards the end just a little bit.
And I don't know if you would agree with me. Just one thing I thought of is that having that one player on the hill not only would it have stopped Punjab from having one player wrapping up the hill and would have been caught out, but am I right in saying that they probably would have spotted out the Panthers earlier on because of having that one player on the hill? So yeah, 110%. That's where positioning right is so important in these games. But so be it. Either way, the job is done. The second game is over, and we have 2 more games to go. It's not getting any easier, but it is getting way more exciting. Don't go away.
Yep.
Myself and Zute will be back for Game 3 pretty soon.
OnePlus 8T. This has the 120 hertz, so it is wicked smooth.
15 minutes will get you charged up for a whole day.
And this has a quad camera too. We got a 48, a 16, a 5, and a 2 megapixel. OnePlus 8T. This has the 120 hertz, so it is wicked smooth.
15 minutes will get you charged up for a whole day.
And this has a quad camera too. We got a 48, a 16, a 5, and a 2 megapixel.
We're halfway through the final day here of the group stages of PMCO 2021 Spring Split North America. I'm Imperium with Zute, and man, things are getting closer. Butts are clenching, and there is way more open than I thought.
Yeah. We have some teams that we did not fully consider coming into today really showing up and just, making a shakeup of things, right? So we see the Terror right now in 16th place at 78 points. The team that's really on the chopping block right now is Prism Esports.
For sure.
Punjab only 5 points away from passing them up, but we are really looking at the Terror. They're at 78. If they could get 9 more points, that will essentially... No, not 9. If they could get 10 more points, that will put the Terror ahead of Prism. And if Punjab will do likewise, that is Prism taken out of the top 14 qualifying position. So Prism definitely are clinching their butts right now. I know for a fact that they're watching this broadcast, and I know how you guys are feeling. I'm sorry, there's nothing you could do. Maybe get a bowl of ice cream just in case, things don't shake out your way. But yeah, man, Prism, fingers crossed for you guys. But yeah, you just gotta watch. Just gotta watch it all unfold.
Just one quick thing to know while we're on the first page of the standings. Passion Fruit, 168 points in first place. The same amount of chicken dinners as Enigma Fan Club and M19, but they are 27 points ahead of EFC. The consistency from Passion Fruit between surviving, stability, and popping off, as you've seen all throughout their games, it is impressive.
Yeah, but I love how, if you look at the overall, right, Passion Fruit still have way more placement points than kill points. So it's that Passion Fruit that I love still seeing. Like, they could do it both, but hey, man, placement points a little bit easier for us, so we're just going to go ahead and grab those.
Now, Warning 6.
Yeah.
Can they still do it?
Oh, yes, they can, but with the momentum and the first 2 games, right? Game number 1, they got caught out. They secured like a couple of points, not many, but it was game number 2 on Sandhawk. They lose 2 players right out the bat. They're down to a duo, and they only get 1 kill point, and then they get sandwiched in and absolutely decimated by Passion Fruit. I don't think they got it. Like, from a competitive player, their mental standpoint is being heavily challenged right now, and it's just it's not. I don't think they got it. I think I would count them out at this point.
Okay, that's pretty fair. Level X. Level X. I've got over 30 points over 2 games. I think 32 points, if I'm not mistaken. That not only puts them about 5 points behind the Terror, but it also puts them within singing distance of Prism. So we'll definitely be keeping an eye on the side of Level X. Miramar is our third map of the day. It's the third game of the day. It's all desert, baby. It's not easy to deal with, but who is going to be the one to come out of Miramania with the champion's belt?
And looking at this playing path right now, it's going to be heavily favoring the south. It's going from the east to the west. And one thing I didn't mention that it might be a little bit too late to touch on, since the players are already heading into the next game. But something I'm noticing, right? We're getting a lot of engagements with these 2 groups early on.
Yeah.
The map is looking really clear. We saw it in game number 1, Erangel, but in game number 2, did you notice the disparity of what was open when the circles were going towards the northeast? Passion Fruit was the only team up there. So here's what I'm thinking, Imperia. I'm thinking you let the teams that are playing more aggressive just fight it out. And maybe, just maybe, with these last 2 games, the rotations are easier than usual. And if you just focus a little bit more on rotating around and paying attention to the circle shifts, you can essentially do what maybe Level X pulled off on that Sandhawk game. They didn't have many kills, but they just followed the circle and managed to, get their way into a second place finish for placement points.
Now, phase 1 does complement the playing path a bit, as Passion Fruit are instantly going to have a player knocked down in the wonderful location of Picado.
Yeah.
Look, execution, fair play. They're picking up a kill. Can't argue with that one. Passion Fruit probably aren't going to be too worried with that one.
Yeah, Passion Fruit already sitting very comfortably in first place. I don't think any other team could even really pass them up. The next team down would be M19, and they're 37 points away, right? Passion Fruit just playing for fun. They're dropping Picado here. They're down to take a fight. Look at how, I wouldn't say reckless Sleepless is pushing over that road, but look at how fast he is, right? They're ready to set up for an engagement. But engagements aside, I was talking about the rotations, and we already have the first circle up on the screen. First circle on the southwestern side. Rotations into this circle is actually really quite tricky because the middle of the circle is right along that road, meaning a lot of teams will have easy access and easy rotations into that area. So it's going to fill up quickly. And the rotation south of that middle area, not many roads, just hillsides and high ground mountain. So if just one team gets up there before you do, they're pushing all the teams away and like circumventing everyone. But this is just the first circle, and we've seen on Miramar, the circle shifts could be quite crazy, and it could change a lot.
We're seeing Passion Fruit and Execution come on board, and yeah, Passion Fruit are clearly not taking this game, I'm not going to say too seriously, but they're down to just one, and considering they've won 2 chicken dinners, I'm not going to say I'm a little bit disappointed, but I would have liked to have seen them win this 3rd game in Miramar, so they got the World Tour. It would be the first team to get the World Tour in the PMCO group stage, and I think this is obviously like the best chance for them to have gotten it. However, you know, they're not really going to worry about it too much, and fair play to Execution. They pick up 4 kills, and they'll win over in Picado.
Yeah, Passion Fruit going out very early. So I was saying, Freezes, we just took down the #1 team in PMCO group stage. Sure, we're not doing good in overall leaderboards, but we just took down the #1 team.
Yeah.
That says something.
It does.
Oh,
it does. It does. Like, I'm not saying this in a bad way, but they got as many kill points in that one fight as they had total coming into this game. I don't mean that in a bad way. I actually mean it in a positive way. I mean it in a way of, hey, it shows that they're going to try and end on a strong note, on a positive note, on kind of a high note. And honestly, I commend them for that big time.
Yeah. And they took a 3v4. It was a 3v4. They got one off the beginning, making it a 3v3, but it was a 3v3 with the #1 team. So they could definitely fight it out. And even if Passion Fruit wasn't taking it serious, right, they're still shooting back at you.
Yes.
So, yeah, not a free win by any means for the team of Execution. So kudos to them. Good job for them. And one thing I want to mention with Passion Fruit is, you know why I think they just went out so early?
Why?
They probably got some Passion Fruit drinks ready on the side.
Oh my lord. Oh no.
And they just want to watch us cast, maybe. Maybe they just want to, tune in to good old Imperium and Zute, because we've talked them up a lot. We've already said we're fans. I don't see it right now. Because, you know, I'm watching the game and I'm casting, but they might just be in the chat right now. So if you guys are in the chat, hey, shout outs to you guys. I love your team name. And hey, you went out early this game, next game. If you're hearing this, I want to see you set a new record for points gained in one game. Okay. All right. So bring it to us in game #4. All right. It's fine. You guys went out early. All right. But game #4, you got to make it up and set a new record.
Oh, you've been challenged by the man himself, Zute, while 3Z are looking to challenge DRX on the church ground compound of the hills outside and around Chumasera. So it's a good position Digital Razor X holds on to. I do like 3Z and where their position maybe clicks a bit too far away from his second teammate, and as he moves away, he's getting caught out. But I don't hate 3Z's position. I actually like that 2-2 split.
Yeah, it's not too bad. The only thing I'm worried about is, like, I don't see them realistically pushing off a knock. This is one of the high ground areas where even if you get a knock and you have vehicles ready, driving over is super risky. And you see it now. They're trying to go for... Okay, they get that knock, but I doubt they're going to go for a push. But they do have a buggy. If any vehicle is able to do a push, it is the buggy. And they're going for it. 3Z, one of the teams out of the running, so they're playing hyper aggressive right now.
Yeah, but they can't send it as a two-man team. It has to be as a full squad. I do respect the fact that they're going closer, right? So, like a shark in the water, they're going, you know, jaws just doo-doo, doo-doo, doo-doo. At the end of the day, though, they do still have to be aware that Digital Razor X will see that, and they will look to respond. You can see that Chung Young has been able to go out, be that kind of forward player, and maybe catch out 3Z a little bit while Clicks and Super are going to back off. I think 3Z realized that they not necessarily missed the opportunity, but they haven't been able to find the opportunity to get that full engagement.
Yeah, like I was saying earlier, even if they get a knock, it's unrealistic that they could pull a push off just because it's all hill terrain and DRX has a high ground. And I want to throw a quick shout out to Chi here. Chi playing very smartly and setting himself up in a very, very forward position. He could have been on top of that rooftop, right? That so many players like doing because you want to stay up on the highest point so you could see the furthest. But Chi playing a forward positioning, stopping that push even shorter than what DRX would have liked, and that caused them to disengage and turn right back around.
M19 dropped in Monte Nuevo or no, I think it was actually El Pozo with Segment X, but both of them have been able to push away and they're rotating on the western side along with Level X. Phase 2 pops up and it centers quite nicely. Unfortunately, we're not going to see a Minas del Sur or Los Higos finish, but the teams definitely won't be unhappy with this Phase 2 shift.
Yeah, this Phase 2 shift, so the road that was central previous is out of play. Now what is in play is just a bunch of high ground, mountaintop areas. This is going to be very tricky for any teams to navigate, even if they get central. Because the central in one area, if it shifts away from you, you're going downhill on that mountaintop and uphill to another mountaintop. There's 3 giant mountains in play right now on the south side, and any one of these could end up being the final circle. What I want to see Team Terror do, they're on the hard northeastern side, right? I want to see them lap all the way down to the south end side and stay on an edge position. Yeah, stay on an edge position, which allows them to navigate around on any hardships without being contested.
Oh, a lovely knockdown by Julia onto the player of God Play. Sophie's knocked down, so Only is on his own, and he goes down. That is it. The Panthers pick up 3 kills, and of course, always secure themselves further and further into the overall standings. Nicely done on that engagement. But, you know, I'm curious on why you think the Terror should kind of go down south, because surely they can do the same thing on the northern edge of the circle, right? What do you think is the benefit or the extra benefit of rotating down south, which is most notably going to take longer, right?
Yeah, so it will take longer. The thing is, on the northern side, the first barrier of entry is getting past that roadside, and then right after that roadside, it's mostly all high ground terrain, and the teams are all centered around there already. We see DRX here, we see Warning 6 here, and the north side is just more congested because it's shifted south, right? It's shifted south, so teams coming in from the north, this is the first area that they would stop in. So it's just more teams to run into if you don't, circumnavigate all the way to the south. And usually I always bring up, well, if another team is thinking the same thing, that could be an issue. But these lobbies, these teams are fighting way earlier on. Teams are going out way earlier on. So these wrapping rotations are more and more likely to work out for you.
That's just where kind of adaptability comes into play, keeping an eye on how many players are left in the lobby. Right now it's 47. We've got 12 teams. Okay, we started with 2 less because of certain circumstances, but at the end of the day, yeah, that adaptability will play a big part. 3Z getting a knockdown onto Prophecy, got revived up on the south hills of Chumasera. Nice rotation by 3Z because they were on that church side that is around the Chumasera area, and they wrapped around onto a higher ground position, and that was really well played from them.
Oh, and wow, I was thinking it was going to end up in one of the mountains, but it's a hard shift to the north. Now, for the Terror, they haven't made it all the way down yet, which is actually good for them. So you see them on the edge side that I was talking about, right? I wanted them to stay on an edge side. This edge side allows them to wrap back up north if needed, or wrap anywhere if the circle shifted somewhere else. So this circle, I want to see them wrap once again up to the northern side. Just like with each hard shift, the side that it hard shifts to is theoretically less congested, and that is exactly what it's looking like.
I love the fact that they were doing exactly what you suggested, which not only says to me that, hey, they are kind of tuned into really getting the best result they can, but also, if it wasn't already known, your stuff, Zute. But as Null are going to rotate in the same path line as M19, Kwai is going to get out of that buggy and he's going to look to fire shots on towards M19, but because of the way they're positioned, M19 are going to go down that hill to the point where they're not able to get caught out by Null just yet.
Yeah, and we see this rotation out of M19. They circumnavigated one team, and now they're getting shot at by Warning 6. So this is the issue with not being on the edge of a circle. The edge of a circle lets you avoid a lot of teams and wrap to whatever hard shift happens. But if you're playing central and a hard shift happens, you're having to go through what M19 is going through. But Meeseeks wrapping right into the team of DRX on top of the church, and Irish getting taken down by Chi, and is in a 4v3 situation now for the side of Meeseeks.
Just like against 3Z, Chi not afraid to kind of go out off the roof and kind of go on the outskirts of that building to get that information, to get those shots off. That's really proactive positioning coming out from him individually, and it shows that also the communication of the team is allowing him to play that off. The revive has been pulled out, and Meeseeks are recognizing that Chi was there, so they're going to use that lower ground to wrap around on the other side of this church area.
Yeah, great wraparound fight. And we were talking about Shi not being on the roof, but right now, DRX needs at least one player on the roof. They're missing out on a huge advantage, but Meeseeks wraps into a great off angle already set up by Pubg, but Pubg gets traded, and that's 2 down for the side of DRX.
Jokester did get confirmed, but it is still 3 against 2, and she goes down, so now it's 3 against 1. Arrows gonna get dropped to the ground, the IGL of this side of Meeseeks, but the 2-man team of Irish and Jordan finish the job, and that's gonna leave Meeseeks up as a 3-man team. Nice! I want to see more of this from Meeseeks in the future, as Null are gonna get pushed upon by Level X, and Level X, they're on 4 kills. Look at that. 4 kills for Level X. Oh my lord, it's happening, Zute.
It is happening. Level X, 4 kills, and that circle shift does work out for them. One team it doesn't work out for is Team Terror. So I was talking big about what wraps they should do, and they've been following along this whole entire time. In my self-defense, they got hard shifted 3 circles in a row.
That's fair.
So I still think they were doing the right thing, but sometimes the circle just really doesn't like you. So they have a rotation cut out for them. Hopefully they'll find some way in. Whereas Warning 6, they're finding their way in straight to the middle of the zone inside Chumasera.
I think that's risky. The middle of Chumacera on phase 4. I know there's less players on the lobby, but the middle of Chumacera surely being on the eastern edge would have been better when you're talking about disengagement path, right? When you're talking about kind of repositioning in a safer way. Whereas now, if another team comes in, they're pinched in between two, while Batman of M19 gets a knockdown onto Auroras of Meeseeks.
Yeah, the central position, it's kind of a deadlock play. If you get circle blessed, you're happy that you got there early before any other team, starts getting there. But if it goes away, yeah, you're fighting your way out, and that fight is not an easy fight by any means.
Oh man, M19, they're on 1 kill. They're looking good in leaderboard, as the rest of Meeseeks are just going to get in that vehicle and disengage away. Level X also in the back line. You talked about their position. They have rotated on the southern tip of the circle. And actually, no, it is actually the Terror that was going to pass, and they're going up against the side of W6. And oh my lord, that is facing off as Jimmy is now left on his own in a 1v2. Look at the bodies crawl down, confirm those kills inactive as the side of Warning 6 look to stop the Terror dead in their tracks.
Warning 6 getting gifted those kills by the Terror. I was saying how the Terror has a tough rotation cut out for them. I don't blame them, man. They see that circle, not a lot of options. Maybe just cross our fingers and go central and it's not already taken. But Warning 6, hey, they got here first. It was, it could pay off for them if they get gifted some kills like they just did, or nobody goes here and the circle shifts off them. It worked out for Warning 6, but we're going to go into the next circle shift and we're going to really see if it's going to work out for Warning 6 in the long run.
I think you're being a bit too soft on the Terror, to be honest. I thought that was really overall poor as a rotation. The direction, yes, but the timing of it, with the fact that, come on, there most likely was going to be a team there. They could have stopped on the edge. They really could have stopped on the edge. But either way, next phase is going to pop up. Punjab United sitting pretty on the northeastern edge. Will it stay in their favor?
Oh, wow. The Panther, it's like they saw the future and their defense setup is already set as beautifully as can be for the circle shift that just literally happened. Maybe one of their players on the southern side, he might want to back up just a little bit. But honestly, he could play that position until he gets pressured because he's got 3 players in the back with supporting sightlines. But let's talk about this shift. Yeah, Warning 6, heavily punished for that rotation. And you're right, Imperia. The Terror could have done a better rotation. They could have edged in and then full sended later on if they needed to. I was being soft on them because they were following my rotation callouts for the first 2. So you're right. You called me out on it.
It's cool.
I admit to it. Okay.
It's all good, my friend. It's all good. As Execution Esports, there are 2 players left in this game are getting pushed upon by Punjab United. Now, Punjab United aren't far away. They're actually into the edge of the circle now off the back of sending 2 players in, and they're going to try and wrap around Execution, but they do need to confirm these kills. Let's be fair. They need to take these 2 kills to create more space and more freedom on this part of the circle.
Yeah, I don't think they realize it's a 2-man team, right? If it was a 2-man team, that can be easy pushed with cover. So instead, they're going to just get in front of them, which they are, and they're already positioned on the inside of circle, and they're just going to choke them out slowly this way instead.
I love the fact that Oscar didn't get knocked down as well. He proned just in time, and now they're sending all 4 players into the circle, and they're going to be able to gatekeep the last remaining player of Execution, Natus, who's going to try and chuck out a couple of smokes. But this is phase 5, and the damage is pretty dangerous. He has 5 first aids, and he's stemmed up pretty nicely, but he has a full squad in front of him.
Yeah, and there he's down to 4 first aids left, and maybe he might get a 6th place finish first aiding. Nonetheless, Warning 6 actually has found a way inside the edge of the circle at this compound. If it shifts off them, though, if they have more smokes, they're actually in a good position to play the rest of the game. They just need to get across the road with smokes when the circle does pop off them.
And that's why they were looking, and they got a little bit of a pre-knock on the 3Z. They got information. They have that kind of higher elevated position. So I like that proactivity of Warning 6. Let's not count them out just yet. They had 2 board games, but they're coming into this one as execution have been taken out by Punjab. We have 6 teams left, 23 players.
Yeah, and when the next circle did pop up, it's another northern shift. So Warning 6 is going to have to do those smokes I was talking about. The first one's already coming out. I don't know how heavily 3Z is going to just focus on gatekeeping them. It looks like Clicks is trying to rotate out, runs into M19. This should be a cue for 3Z to just try and focus on Warning 6 and pick up whatever kill points they can. But they're getting distracted. 2 of them knock. Warning 6 is going to take that opportunity and cross right over the road for free.
And there's only one player of the Panthers that's actually kind of stopping him from coming in on the southern edge of the circle. Super is trying to play around as M19 are continuing to keep the pressure a little bit on them while they also have to think about their own position inside the circle. Level X are still in the game, and so are Punjab United. So let's be conscious of where they might be positioned inside this phase 6 circle.
Yeah, Punjab, I do think, is on the northeastern side, right? They were the team that choked out execution and picked up those kill points. Punjab on the low ground. I think it's going to work out, though, because we have this big chasm down the middle. This creates a lot of just spacing, and you see M19 having to just rotate straight in. M19 on the high ground, not in the circle. They can only afford to take shots for so long before they have to rotate in. 3Z, though, on the backstab. Not looking good for the side of M19.
It's not looking good, but they're dealing with it for now. As far as I know, one of their players is actually in the circle while Batman is on the higher ground hill. So Revenge is going to be able to stay out of sight, out of mind for now. Batman was putting solid pressure onto the Panthers, the 2-man team down in the lower part. So that kept the pressure off the side of Level X's. Beast is just staying down low, but Warning 6, they're kind of directly in front of them. Peralto is going to confirm Ultron, so that automatically leaves Beast on his own, but he's going to get taken out. That's going to be the end of Level X, and we're down to our final 5 teams. Make that 4 as Warning 6 goes down to the blue.
Warning 6 is taken down to the blue, and we're about to have another team. Yep, M19 taken out, and now it's down to 3Z. 3Z taken out, and now we're just down to 2 teams. Punjab and the Panthers.
Are we kind of not surprised that it's coming down to these 2 teams? Yeah, the Panthers spread out quite nicely. The circle were gifted in their favor. They were up as a full squad, and then Punjab United, you talked about it, choked out execution, and they were able to stay on the northeastern side. It's a clean 4v4, and this is very, very life-breathing for Punjab United. I don't think they will really mind about finishing second, because I think they're pretty happy with how they've done so far in this game, considering how poor their first 2 games were.
Yeah, the first 2 games, they were looking shaky. They only needed a few points. They're bringing it back now. But the Panthers taking advantage of the wide spread that they had, and they're getting more forward positioning. Look at how close a Panther is to Punjab. They didn't just edge in onto their side of the circle shift. They're pressing all the way up, really limiting Punjab into being able to move in. But off that knock, Punjab has a chance to break into this fight.
It's traded up, a man goes down, so it's 3 apiece left in this Miramar game. The blue zone of phase 7 is going to start closing in, so that's going to obviously put more pressure onto the side of Punjab United. They got the revive onto a man as Nimbo takes down Savage. That's actually pretty good. It does put that man advantage on the Punjab United. I was thinking, Zute, they shouldn't have gotten the revive on the Oscar, but it might work out in their favor. They're on the higher ground area. You have Jaua is doing a great job for the Panthers of suppressing Punjab on that lower dip.
Yeah, Jayuya is literally funneling Punjab to the top side, and it comes down to Jinx to capitalize off that and get a knock. But Punjab, 4-man strong, taking essentially a 4v1 right there. Yeah, and it's now down to one player of the Panthers.
They know they have the man advantage. That's why they push as a 4 6-man squad, right? Because they knew they could counter-frag. They knew they could refrag while still keeping this man advantage. And now, up as a 3-man team, they haven't quite got the circle, but you said that they have the man advantage. Just one player left up. Julia on that lower ground. Dippy's on the southern side of this phase 7 as the blue zone is about to hit phase 8. Lovely grenades by Punjab United, just sending Julia down below that low ground dip, but it's going to be one knockdown like the bowling pins. Is he going to get the second? Is he going to get the third? Is he going to get the strike? I don't think Punjab should get the revive.
If they're in zone, they can get the revive. It's going to force Hoya to push up over in the open, which he does not want to do. So get that revive and push another 3v1.
Fair.
Hoya does have the zone. I want to see the cleanest peak crouches I have ever seen. That's the only way this player is able to shoot down 3 players all running at him at the same time.
Channel your carnival fair target shots. Channel your peek and shoot, the accuracy of that. Nice grenade being thrown out. He knows that Punjab are going to go to that crate first and then go to the car. One comes out, doesn't get the knockdown, but the second one does lower the health of 2 of the players. A pre-nade, but that's going to be off target, off angle. Now it's going to come down to this one. It is going to get taken out, and Punjab United, off the back of 2 bad results, claim the chicken dinner in Miramar.
Not only claiming the chicken dinner, they just has officially made an announcement. Hey, we are here. We are making it to the finals. Punjab, yes. Absolutely great finish. And the Panthers too. I think they got a little bit too comfortable and a little bit too greedy in taking up all that space.
Fair.
Punjab recognized it and just grouped up together and just focused on one side of the circle and took advantage of the spread that the Panthers was trying to do.
Oh man, warning 6. Is it too late? They only got 16 points. It was 10 kills, 6 placement points. A hell of an effort. They were rewarded 3 or 4 points off the back of very, very risky push from the Terror. But they probably needed a lot more.
Yeah, so you're asking, was it enough points when they just brought in 16 points, right? 16 points on a typical day is amazing. It's great. But no, we're coming down to the very last game on the very last day for these players. So the make it or break it point now has drastically increased for a lot of these teams, just like for Warning 6. And Warning 6 right now, man, I'm looking at the points and they can still do it. Or actually, unless if my eyes are deceiving me, I'll wait until we go into the overall leaderboards because my eyes might actually be deceiving me. But I think Warning 6 might not just be out of it just yet.
Hey, well, we'll have to wait and see. We will have to wait and see. Fortunately, we're going to tease you. We're going to go for a break first. We're not going to make it as easy as that. The good folks over at OnePlus and OnePlus AT, who are, of course, the official sponsors for the PMCO North America 2021 Spring Split. See you guys in a couple of minutes, and we will be back for the final game of the group stage. Yeah. Don't go away.
OnePlus 8T. This has the 120 hertz, so it is wicked smooth.
15 minutes will get you charged up for a whole day.
And this has a quad camera too. We got a 48, a 16, a 5, and a 2 megapixel. OnePlus 8T. This has the 120 hertz, so it is wicked smooth.
15 minutes will get you charged up for a whole day.
And this has a quad camera too. We got a 48, a 16, a 5, and a 2 megapixel.
It all comes down to this, folks. It all comes down to this. The final game of the PMCO 2021 Spring Split North America group stage. We've got quite a few teams that are fighting for the top 14. And we've got a couple of teams hoping that the teams fighting take each other out. Zute, it is all going to come down to the last game.
Yeah, it's going to come down to the last game. And essentially, the way I see it, 5 teams right now. There are 5 teams coming down to this last game. It can determine where they end up at, and it can determine if they're going to play for the rest of the season. One game is going to decide the fate of 5 teams. I can't stress that enough. It is absolutely insane, the amount of pressure building on, and not just the pressure for the teams playing, for the teams not playing, the teams watching. I'm talking about Prism and Scrim Farm NA right now.
What would you recommend they do, Zute? What would you recommend they do to kind of prepare for this final game that they're not even a part of?
So here's what they can do, right? They can figure out where the level X, Warning 6, and the Terror players live, and maybe try and catch a quick airplane over and cut out the internet, right?
Jesus,
but not just that. Maybe they also have to take out the cell tower, because we're mobile gamers out here. If the Wi-Fi is out, I have played on data. Okay, all jokes aside, honestly, the only thing they can really do is maybe pick out their favorite ice cream from their local grocery store, drive over, grab it real quick, because that might be the only condolence they get tonight if they do get kicked out of the top 14. As harsh as it sounds, this is what esports is, baby. Like, this is how it goes. There's losers and there's winners. And when you're a loser, you just gotta make it the best you can.
Like we said at the start of the PMCO group stage, that it can and it most likely will come down to 1 point. In other regions today, we've seen it come down to 1 point. And it's no different here in North America. You got 13 points dividing Scrim Farm in 13th and the Terror in 17th on 79. 13 points. That's achievable. We've seen the Terror in game 1 get 10 kill points and then the placement points. We've seen the side of Level X be pretty damn consistent over the first 3 games. And we just saw Warning 6 keep the fight for the top 14 alive off the back of a Miramar game.
Yeah, real quick, I'm going to read off the point spread for you starting from 13th place from Scrim Farm, right? It goes from 92 down to 87, down to 82, down to 81, down to 79. Yeah, that point gap right there is so small, and we're fitting 5 teams in right there, and we got 1 game left, and we all know anything could happen in the last game. The worst thing that could happen for Scrim Farm and Prism right now is if we see any of these 3 teams towards the end of the game. Level X, Warning 6, and Terror. Because if we see these 3, that means these 3 have a really high chance on moving up and kicking them out.
Yeah, they're both hoping that they all take each other out. They're both hoping that they all go kablami in some way, shape, or form, so to speak. But let me entertain one quick scenario for you. Just one tiny, incy little bit of a scenario. We support farmers. They're in 12th.
Okay.
And they're on 96 points.
Oh.
I'm not saying it's going to happen, but there is another dimension, a situation, an otherly world where all three of Level X, Warning 6, and the Tower make it in, and those three get kicked out.
If those three teams get the perfect amount of placement points and kills in this alternate dimension that you're talking about, in this twilight zone of a dimension, yes, you're right. It can happen. But we support farmers. I will personally send them some ice cream if it happens like that. I will personally do that because that should not happen. They should be okay.
It shouldn't. They should be okay. They should be okay.
Caster's
Let's be fair.
Caster's curse. You just said it, man. Now I'm a little bit worried. And if they're watching, they must be like, why did you mention this, Imperium? Why? Okay.
Oh, man.
But we're just going to have to see. We're going to have to see.
We are just going to see. Let's give our fair dues to Punjab United. They won the Miramar game. We questioned how they were going to be able to pull it off based on the first two games, but they have put themselves into 9th place overall in the standings off the back of that chicken dinner. So well done to you guys. Much congratulations. But now they don't have to worry about it. We're getting into our final game of the day. Erangel is where it's all going to end for these teams. Who's going to be the winner? Who's going to be the loser? I'll tell you what, it doesn't matter what happens. I'm a winner. Zute's a winner. The viewers are a winner. And the playing path is a winner.
I don't think the playing path is a winner because it is. Okay, no, you're absolutely right, Imperium. This playing path is a winner. It's a winner for all of us watching. And actually, Prism and Scrim Farm NA, this is a small hope for them, right? It starts off like this. You give the lobby a really disastrous playing path, which might just shake up how these three teams that we're looking at, Level X, Warning 6, and the Terror do. Because if they don't get off to a good start, it's just all the better for the Scrim Farm NA and Prism Esports.
Just like yesterday, I have all these teams written on my notebook. I've got the permanent marker. As each team goes out, one of the others is either they're getting across or another team is getting across. Either way, I am keeping an eye. Level X have gone to Primorse, so they are pretty far away from all the other teams, all things considered. And even if it is a northerly phase 1, they're going to have an easy rotation on the western side. But it is actually, it's still not too bad for them. It's a northeast phase 1.
Yeah, Northeast Phase 1 and Level X, really great adapting to that plane path. First one's off the plane, starting their loot in Primorsk. There is cars around there. They could easily do a wrapping rotation, and we've seen it. The rotations today are a little bit easier since you got a lot of teams just fighting and taking each other out. So Level X in a good position. Let's take a look at Warning 6 on the southeast side. Not as bad. I see they have cars secure. They're probably going to do a loot around Milt of Power, a split around there. And the circle, just on the edge. Only issue is when they rotate out, we see quite a few teams surrounding them. M19 could get in their way. The Terror could get in their way. Punjab could get in their way. So a little bit scarier rotating as compared to Level X. But it is the first circle. The map is very big. There's always rotation pathings around anywhere if you know them. But today in this last game is when it's really going to count, and you better have your rotations down on lock.
Now, one thought.
Oh,
and one thought that I kind of had mentioned previously was kind of targeted fighting by a couple of these teams. Punjab have already secured their spot. they can, in theory, take out the Terror and allow, for example, both Level X and We Support Farmers to claim their spot in the top 14. Punjab United, they're 3 players down. They have 1 left. The Terror have won that battle. I don't know whether they're going to be able to secure those kills. They probably will. It's Nimbu left on his own. They tried to fight the Terror, but you did it game 1 and you lost. You did it game 4 and you're also losing.
Yeah. I'm looking at this right now and I'm kind of blinking my eyes really fast to try and like maybe piece together what just happened. We see a blown up US out and oh my gosh, and this is another team pulling up onto the Terror. I was talking about it. These teams are looking to fight and fight they will. Brar caught out by himself and he is calling for the support of his teammates as loud as he can right now. I don't know if his teammates are going to get there in time.
He shouldn't actually. He should be just trying to hoover up those kills. He's going to give one over to 3Z from the side. Although, yeah, you're right. He kind of called the support and the players of the Terror are giving that kind of third, not third party, but that long-range defense on the apartments of Yasnaya.
Yeah, and I think it was wise of Brar, instead of to confirm the kill point, to stay alive. Being a 4-man team, it has a longer lasting impact throughout the game as compared to picking up a kill point and potentially giving your position away and dying. But Brar, he's not out of it yet. He still needs a rescue mission. 3Z, I only see 3 of them, and we already see the Terror getting an angle, and they might get an angle onto Haru, the 4th player. They spot him out. This might just work out for the Terror. We saw it in game 1. They pick up 8 kills right off the beginning of the game, and now they are already at 2, and they might pick up more. But there's another team in Yasnaya in the prison area. I just spotted that player. What is going on over here?
That's the thing, dude. The Terror really want the pushes. They're already on 81 points. They're already ahead points-wise of the side of... on equal points as Warning 6, but they're gonna push it. And 3Z, they're kind of scared. They backed off. They've sent their US onto the field just by the hail bell. Now, Supra is gonna play around on the side of the building. That's gonna be a little bit of support while the rest of 3Z are gonna come as well as the cavalry is arriving. Clicks was knocked down, so it is gonna be 3v3 because that 4th player of the Terror, Savage, is low on health further back. So Brar, Jimmy, and Gil looking down as the PP buys and power comes into play, and he gets that knocked down.
Yeah, the Terror. There's 2 different breeds, Imperium, when you're under pressure. Fight or flight. Terror is on full fight mode. They're taking it straight to any team challenging them. And just like that, they pick up another 4 kill points, starting the game off so strong, just like game number 1. The Terror, aptly named. I love it. This is great. I hope they make it through. I really want to see this team make it through.
Oh, the Terror, you just got yourself 2 new fans because, my lord, we love to see it. That already puts them on 85 points. That not only puts them ahead of Warning 6, that also puts them ahead of level goddamn X, and they're only 2 points away from punching Prism out of the top 14. But we move on over to the fight between Null and the Panthers, and knockdown comes on through. Nicely played from the European player, Chip, but Juliaya comes in with the grenade to knock Chip down, and now Akko's in is going to fly down to get that revive, while Twinkles beats that frontline player for Null. Nicely done by Null.
Yeah, I want to see Twinkles right now go for a flank, and he is not... He's thinking about it. Yeah, he's thinking about it, but he's hesitating, and that hesitation costing his teammate to get knocked again, meaning Twinkles can no longer flank, and he's got to support his knocked teammate, and it's all falling apart. Null down to 1 player. The Panthers 4 up with only 1 knock. I want to see the Panthers just push this one out. Jip being the last one up. It's not looking good. Bagel going for that off angle right now. And yeah, it's curtains for Null. It's curtains for Null.
It is curtains for... Oh, that's a nice grenade. It's going to send Legal back a little bit. The revive did get pulled out onto Ankles in as Jip is going to fly on forward. Nicely done by Jip is going to get knocked down, going to confirm that kill. She is a little bit low in health, down to halfway, but he's going to also send Juliana onto half health, so that's nicely done. Here's what, they're looking to go out with a bang, but in the end, they go out, and the Panthers survive.
Yeah, the Panthers survive. They do lose one player. I think if the Panthers really needed points, they might have played that a little bit differently in a way where they don't lose legal. But they're just, fast aggression. They're going for it. Speaking about fast aggression, now we got Meeseeks and Passion Fruit fighting. 42 alive, and the first circle hasn't even changed yet. And this fight is not going to end in a disengagement. This fight is going to end with one of these teams going out, and Sleepless already getting a nice, beautiful flank onto the side of Irish and Auroras. Oh, yeah, Passion Fruit, they're going to win this one out too.
But let's be fair, this isn't bad for both Level X and Warning 6, as well as who we've already seen, which is the Terror, right? Okay, there's less kills available, but from a placement, from a area inside the circle, from a freedom, there is going to be way more available for those three teams.
Yeah, okay. So the rotations are going to be easier, but that still doesn't change the fact you come into the late game, there's still about the same amount of teams that you're going to have to fight against, right? It's just early on, spacing opens up, but as the circle gets smaller, you're still going to see a relatively the same amount of teams alive. They're just dying earlier rather than later. So maybe they're actually missing on the kill points that they might like.
Fair.
And these other teams are taking them up right now.
And you see that, right? Level X are still in the blue. Phase 2 has popped out. And Warning 6 are still outside the Kameshki area, now outside the circle. So both of those teams, compared to the Terror, are playing much safer. Jokester, who definitely isn't playing safe, out in the open, is going to get knocked out, and confirmed Passion Fruit have no problem taking this fight. They're on top of the leaderboard. They're just having a great old time inside this Orango game.
Yeah, now it's just down to Irish and Jordan. I don't think it's going to go well for Passion Fruit. I love that little bait play by Passion Fruit. Runs close to the stairs, has no intention of pushing up, and is already running back, and that baits out the shots, and that kind of scares the player holding the stairs. Now that they have to, do that 1 second reload, he's falling back. And now that stair position given up, Passion Fruit one step closer to pushing up and finishing this fight.
Look at the feed. The Terror have got another kill. They've taken out Ralphino of M19. That puts them on 86 points. They're now 2 points away from overtaking the side of Prism. Book clenching moments. Here's the thing though. Scrim Farm, they're still safe for now.
Yeah. We already see one team popping off and punching their way in, right? The Terror. Now we got to keep our eyes on Level X out in the blue zone right now, and Warning 6 on the far northeastern edge. We're not going to see them come into action anytime soon, but if those two teams, if one of them starts popping off, that's going to be, Scrim Farm and Prism potentially both going out.
11 teams left, 37 players. Nice engagement by Passion Fruit. Nothing we weren't expecting taking down the side of Meeseeks, unfortunately. 2 Meeseeks. Thank you so much, guys, for participating in the PMCO. It was genuinely a pleasure to cast you guys, and I look forward to, of course, casting you all in the future, and I wish you all the success. But as this game continues, the next phase is about to pop up. As far as I know, Level X are just coming in on the edge of the circle now, and the Terror, they have no intentions of moving away from this at least center circle position for now.
Warning 6 actually getting really close to M19 and active. He's not really stuck. He's in a kind of tough position, but he's got a buggy. They're going to disengage out of this. Warning 6, I don't think will lose any players. And we get the circle shift. It goes down south. Terror's got to move in. Warning 6 got to move in. M19's got to move in. And most importantly, Level X. They might take advantage of that hard south shift and go on the southern side. I wouldn't be too surprised if that's what they elect to do.
But they could be thinking, even though we have 37 players left, they could be thinking because that playing path was down south, there could already be teams now in what is the center of phase 3. So that rotation will still have to be done with caution from the side of Level X.
Yes, any rotation, always with caution. You want to follow your steps, right? If you're coming up on an area that's usually played, get someone to cover you and have a lead scout using a vehicle like a buggy or a Dacia, something like, you know, really fast and maneuverable. That's the best way to scout. But best way to scout, what am I talking about? We're already in the last game. And right now, scouting is not the main concern for these teams. It seems like the main concern for these teams is how good is our gun skill and how well can we fight as a team. So, yeah, like, passion fruit. Already looking to take another fight, I think.
This is my 4th PMCO, right? Group stage.
Yeah.
And this is the craziest ending of a group stage I've seen. I know it's easy to say it, but I swear to God, over the last 2 days, it has been the craziest ending to a group stage I could have asked for. So, from my point of view, I'm absolutely loving it. I know for the teams, it's not the nicest experience in the world, but hey, sometimes you gotta be a little bit selfish.
Yeah, it's nice for a few select teams, right? But for all the other teams, yeah, they're taking the brunt end of that action. So, I mean, Terror already raining terror on 7 players in this lobby. They're already kicked back to the home screen. And we got another rotation coming out right now. So Passion Fruit, they're not looking to take every fight they can. They're still trying to play a bit more positioning, try and do some scouting. But I wouldn't be surprised if off of a knock and they see a nice position that they want, that they're going to go ahead and try and take it.
What is worrying for Level X, the Terror, and Warning 6 is that we do still have some pretty strong teams left in this game, right? You have the Panthers, you have Passion Fruit. As far as I know, Segment X are still in this game. So, getting past those teams is going to be kind of quite difficult, all things considered. A great rotation from Warning 6 as well on the side note, coming in on the southeastern side as the next phase pops up and is centered somewhat quite nicely.
This is actually perfect. Pay attention right now. Level X, Warning 6, Team Terror, the 3 teams we're looking at, all on the south side. That means with this shift, there's a very high chance they fight each other and one of them go out. So we support farmers. Or not we support farmers, Scrim Farm NA. They're seeing that positioning on the map right now, and they should be breathing a slight sigh of relief. In theory, it should work out for them, but we never know. Maybe they might just rotate all around, like to the hardest side again, and they're going to break off from one another.
Theory can often be so much different than reality, especially in the world of PUBG Mobile where RNG comes into play. And this area specifically is quite difficult to control, right? Because you don't really have too many harsh ships that you can stay down behind. It's often quite flat with a couple of little shacks in play. So, you really have to be strong and united as a team to defend this area.
Yeah, and Level X, they were on the bottom side of Warning 6, and you already saw that quick disengagement in. Level X just scoot in a little bit more, so they're not going to fight this circle. But next circle shift, they're still right next to each other, and it's a high chance I do fight. I just saw the Terror out in the distance rotating. I'm not sure where they're going to end up right now. And is that them on the minimap? Yeah, that is the Terror. The Terror is actually going to do a hard rotation up north. So the Terror, heavily rotation focused, but they might just go for this kill. Brar and Savage, they got 2 gunners. One of them gets shot out.
Come on, you can do it. You can do it. You can do it. Go for it. Go for it. Go for it. No, it's second one. It's second one. It's third one. It's all going horribly wrong for the Terror. They're down to just 1 player. They tried to go deep, but it is going to be actually Passion Fruit that is going to pick up multiple kills. Jimmy is by the side of one of his falling knockdown comrades. He could go for that revive. He's opting not to. He's actually continuing on forward. But guess what? He is in front of a number of these teams, and he's going right into the arms of the side of Passion Fruit and even the one and only Godplay. No, Jimmy, no! Survive! Valak is gonna spot you out! Just go for a desperate rotation, your boogie's gonna go out! That is the end of the terror! They finish up in 10th place, and that is maybe going to give them enough points to overtake Prism, but guess what? Level X, they're still in this game.
Yeah, they have overtaken Prism, but Level X and Warning 6, they might just overtake the Terror by the end of this game. So that will kick the Terror right out of that 14th place spot. And oh my god, Imperium. I don't know how I feel about that. Like, it was fantastic action. It was high intensity, but the Terror is a team that I've come to love.
Oh man, why rotate all the way up north? It was odd, but I know hindsight is 2020. I'm still a massive fan of you, Terror. Whether you make it through or not, I'm still a massive fan of you. But Scrim Farm, they loved what they just saw. They absolutely loved what they just saw, because one of the teams that are threatening their position has been taken out, but it is still at the opportunity of Level X and Warning 6 to overtake both Prism and Scrim Farm.
And this circle shift favors both teams of Warning 6 and Level X. If they could coincide with each other on the edge here, and they're going to be pushing some of these players out. Segment X, King A actually managed, what a turn! King A going prone behind the buggy, instant pop-up, taking down one of Level X.
If you had to reload, why didn't you go back behind the rock? But Beast is going to trade up to get the knockdown onto King A, so that's pretty good. However, all the noise that are being made, this is Segment X. They're going to push it. They've nothing to lose, everything to gain. Beast heals up. He's going to go on the underside while Lolo's going to push in. Prophecy is going to follow suit. 1v2 behind a rock. Nicely done by Beast. He is going to try and heal up, but all it's going to take is a couple of grenades as Prophecy gets a knockdown on the Beast, and it's all falling apart because guess what? Level X, as far as I know, they have 0 kills. So they're relying right now on placement points alone.
Yeah, and Segment X, they have claimed this side. They're going to fight their way in, and it's now down to 4v2. King A is going to get revived. None of the other Level X players is going to make it out alive here. And Beast X, I just want to say, man, his head was probably a little bit bigger than he imagined, and his head was peeking out. He thought he was safe, gets headshot, and that defense falls apart. Level X down to 2. Warning 6, I still think is just chilling right now with 4 up alive on the southeastern side of the circle.
I know Segment X do have the higher ground advantage over the side of Level X for now, so by no means are Level X safe, but I think Level X right now are going to be a little bit happier that Segment X didn't push that more, didn't look to really overtake the southern side of that Phase 5.
Yeah, so there's still a chance, a really small chance. They're down to 2 players, and not just that, they're sandwiched between 2 4-man teams, Warning 6 and Segment X. Both 4-man teams on their side. But Passion Fruit in a lovely position right now, gatekeeping Godplay, and they're doing a hell of a good job with it, and Godplay really taking punishment right now.
Oh my lord, right now there's 7 teams left, and if Level X were going to go out now, that would only give them 2 placement points, and that would only put them on 84 in total. That would keep the Terror ahead of Level X, so Level X are definitely feeling the pressure, and as far as I know, that's Level X down to just 1 player. Warning 6 are in the running. They're in the running. They are about to overtake the side of Level X.
Yeah, Level X, I think they are done. They're down to 1 player, and he's medding right now in the blue. Warning 6, all eyes on Warning 6 right now. They rotated in, secured them a spot on the south side of zone. If Warning 6 pops off really big enough to pass up We Support Farmers, that works out for the Terror. The Terror... Wait, no, it doesn't. Terror hasn't passed up We Support Farmers, right?
No.
I don't know, man.
No. You're talking about Scrim Farm. We support farmers are fine. I know. It's very confusing. We're trying to keep up. Either way, the push comes in. Warning 6 is actually going to take down, as far as I know, the last player of level X. And now DRX is going to push in, and Inactive is going to go down. But he is going to get supported by Peralta. Is going to fire on up in among the sidelines. We played it through as Pubg is going to go down quite nearly, not quite, as Peralta is just trying to hold on for dear life. They have, as far as I know, 5 kills in this game for Warning 6.
Yeah, Warning 6 with 5 kills. One of their members is down and a little bit separated, and going for a revive at this point in stage, definitely risky. But Peralta, the 3 members up, are firing off shots everywhere, trying to get knocks where they can. We have the Panthers on their south side on the low ground being a thorn in their back, and then they're also trying to focus on Segment X. It's a shooting gallery out here. I think every team has taken shots at one another at least once coming into this last circle.
Now, Level X will get at least 4 points for this 6th place if they were to go out now, but they're helping themselves by grabbing a knockdown. Cash is trying to hold on. Warning 6, Inactive is still knocked down, but he's not finished. Peralta is a little bit afraid to stay too far away from his buggy. I don't know if he has much utility. The revive has been pulled off onto Inactive. The next phase is about to pop up, and Warning 6 are still up as a full squad. I was corrected wrong, should I say. Level X are still in this game. They are still in this game.
I did not see. I think he's healing out in the blue. We see his health bar dropping. Oh, no. He's in the zone. He's alive. He's alive in the zone right now.
Oh, my lord.
Right next to Segment X and Warning 6. And this circle shift goes down to the south, but Venom still has to move a little bit, and that little movement into the next circle could be the death of him. If he has grenades, he can maybe try and take out Segment X and scooch in onto the left side of the circle. Nonetheless, there is still 3 other teams not in zone, and once the circle closes, it's going to be the death of a lot of teams.
He doesn't have any grenades because he's already gotten rid of his backpack. He's full survival mode in this phase 7. 6 teams, 13 players, passion fruit. They could be looking for their 3rd chicken dinner of the day, but Inactive is going to knock down Versa. Like I said, 6 kills for Warning 6 so far in this game. They are setting themselves up to make it into the top 14, but it's not going to be over until it's over. King is going to get spotted out. That's also great for the last player of Level X, because if Segment X either gets pushed back or cleared out, that creates a little bit more space for Venom, as Valak is going to take down the last player of DRX. 4 teams left, 10 players, Ute.
Yeah, and Passion Fruit, the only 3-man team left to contest Warning 6, and I spoke too soon. I was going to say they're not in zone. They're going to get taken out, but Warning 6 right now getting shot up. I think they have 2 players knocked down. No, only 1 player knocked down. This is Warning 6's game. This is their game to punch their ticket into the finals, and they are looking absolutely beautiful. Level X, Venom, though, I think he has managed to sneak in. So the 2 teams we're talking about are still in play.
Yes, and that's where Scrim Farmer go. No, we want you out, guys. We want you out, because 4th place is 8 points for Level X. He has 0 kills, but he's surviving. He's styling. He's profiling in the grass while the other teams around him are taking each other out. Look at him. He's going on the overview. Watch, and that's going to be the end of Passion Fruit. 3 teams left, and the end of, should I say, the Panthers. We have 3 teams left. Warning 6, Level X, and Passion Fruit. Here's the thing. Do Warning 6 know that Venom is there? Have they been too distracted? Because look at that. Venom is right in the line of Peralta, but he doesn't want to fire up. You know why? Because he knows he's going to get taken out, and he'd rather the extra juicy points, but he might have to take a risk. He might have to make a play. The shots are being fired up. Inactive goes right past it. the side of Venom, and that's Jay taken out 4v1. They don't know where he is. Venom is on his own. He was down to a solo player when there was 9 teams left or so, 9 or 7 teams, and he's gotten his team into second. Oh my lord, but can he claim the chicken dinner? Can he steal it away from Warning 6? At this stage of the game, Zute, I don't think it matters.
I can't compute the math enough. I just want... Hey, sorry I said level X, you're out. You're down to a 2-man second shit. And if he picks up a kill point, go for that kill point. Shoot. Oh, he didn't get the kill point, but he got second place. I don't know the math off the top of my head. 0 kills for level X, but a second place finish. Warning 6, a chicken dinner, and massive kills. I think that's enough. I think they punched their way through. Did level X do enough? Did Team Terror also do enough? I cannot do the math in my head. I'm just going to wait for the results.
I don't think Team Terror did enough because both Level X and Warning 6 did enough. Remember, I said that there was that slight chance that We Support Farmers could be taken out if all of Warning 6, Level X, and the side of the Terror popped off. But it's only 2 out of 3, and that means that there's a very strong possibility that both Scrim Farm and Prism have been knocked out of the top 14, completely out of their control. What a last game. What a last day. What a way for Warning 6 to set themselves up. Just like, for example, Punjab, they had a poor first 2 games, but Miramar and game 4, that was it. That was all Warning 6 needed.
That Warning 6 finish, I honestly didn't think they had it in them. They were looking shaky for like 3 games in a row, but they got the chicken dinner. And not just any chicken dinner. They picked up a good amount of kills. More than enough, I think, for them to definitely punch their way in. I just want to see the results. I don't want to talk about anything else right now because my brain, no matter what words come out of my mouth, my brain is trying to think about the results, and I'm just going to get into a jumbled mess.
Please, our Lord Savior, producer man, can you show us the overall standings? We're all waiting to know. The viewers are waiting to know. We want to know. Prism and Scrim Farm, as much as it hurts, they want to know if they've made it through. It is such a crazy way to end things here at the PMCO North America Group Stage 2021 Spring Split. While we are waiting, I might as well just give a huge thank you to the sponsors, OnePlus and the OnePlus AT. But this is it. The overall standings in your face. Warning 6 and Level X have both made it through.
Congratulations to Warning 6 and Level X. 2 teams in the very last game did what they have to do, and the Snake Award for PMCO Group Stage definitely goes to the player from Level X. I'm sorry with all that action. I could not remember the name of that player. Imperium, do you remember who that player was from Level X?
Venom.
Thank you, Imperium. Venom, you are the snake god of PMCO Group Stage. I counted you out. I saw you stuck in a shed. You were last alive. You were surrounded by 2 4-man teams, but you did it. You did it for your team, and you made it in by 2 points over Scrim Farm. So you snaked your way into the finals. Congratulations, Venom. Congratulations, Level X. And I am sorry to say, Scrim Farm NA, you have been removed along with Prism from the qualifying positions to go into the finals of PMCO North America.
And there's so much to go over. Let's just have a look at the second half of the standings, because there's one specific team that we have to mention, that we have to point out, that stole my heart. I believe stole your heart. That is the Terror. They came in today's games and they just did not stop. Game 1, 8 kills right off the bat. It wasn't the best placement, but 10 kills. Then game 2, they fired up. Game 3, it wasn't that good. They made a mistake. And then game 4, they made things work at the start, but the poor, sorry. That's too, no, not even, just an unfortunate rotation took them out too early. And they finished in 17th with 87 points.
Yeah, the Terror. You guys definitely put on a show. I think on the last day coming in, you realize how strong you guys are as a team when it comes to fighting, right? Yes. That's a great realization to make at the end of a tournament, because for the next however long that you guys are practicing together, capitalize on that strength, refine it, develop it, and improve upon it, because you guys are a team that can definitely fight and pick up the kill points. I'm sorry you guys did not make it through. Yeah. But congratulations on a great showing, and you guys definitely made your name stand out.
To point out one thing coming into today's games, Warning 6 started in 19th and Level X were in 25th. Level X got from 25th to 14th in those 4 games. So don't get me wrong, I will always say that you can start as strong as you want, but if you don't finish as strong as you need to, it's never going to work out. And unfortunately, the Terror is kind of an example of that. But Level X, they not only started how they needed to start, but they ended how they needed to end, and they got themselves into the top 14. Like, that determination, that drive, that, fight or flight, that fight was just unbelievable.
Yeah, and to just emphasize how unbelievable it was, in the pre-show, before today started, you and I were looking at stats. You and I were breaking down points. We went on about it for like 20 minutes. I don't think not once did we even mention the name Level X. And really. Look at where they are now. And look at how many times we have said them on this last day. Yeah, absolutely beautiful. I think this group stage, we have seen everything from the Cinderella story of a team at the very bottom making it into the last stage, to crazy chicken dinners, to crazy kill counts, to crazy circles. I am so happy I got to share this experience casting with you, Imperio, and it was, my God, a wonderful group stage.
Man, of course, just to real quickly point out, it came down to 2 points. It came down to 2 points. We said at the start of the group stage, it has come down to 2 points, unfortunately. To give as well a massive shout out to our winners of the group stage, Passion Fruit, 192 points with 3 chicken dinners, 50. I repeat, 50. Not 10, not 20, not 30, not 40, but 50 points ahead of second place. I know it's only the group stage, but that is a hell of a way for them to close things out.
Yeah, and also one other little stat I want to mention. They also closed the game out with the highest kill count out of all the teams. So there you go. Man. I keep making fun of them for their kill count versus placement points, but they're like, Zute, shut the hell up. We can do it all. We're going to end it also with the kill count record of 77. And second place, I believe, is Mazexis at 70.
Oh, M19. Oh, kill count, you mean?
Kill count, yeah. Kill count, period. Yes. Yeah. So,
man.
First in everything, Passion Fruit. First in everything. I'm going to go make myself some Passion Fruit right now.
But guess what? it's not over yet. If anything, let's be fair. The battle has only begun. Congratulations to all 14 teams that made it through. But now the focus begins because we have the finals in play. We have 4 days of action coming up, starting from Thursday, the 25th. 16 games, 16 chances for all of these teams, with the 2 invited to make it a full 16 team lobby to claim the 8 spots for the North American PMPL. So there's so much more to come. Thank you so much to everybody for tuning in. Thank you so much to all the support. Thank you so much to our sponsors, OnePlus and the OnePlus AT. Join us, as I said, for next Thursday, the 25th. Same time, same place. Have a good evening, and we'll see you all then.
OnePlus 8T. This has the 120 hertz, so it is wicked smooth.
15 minutes will get you charged up for a whole day.
And this has a quad camera too. We got a 48, a 16, a 5, and a 2 megapixel.